Welcome to Around the Mage Table. This is episode 82 of the podcast for the rest of us. I am joined by some donkeys. Lythian, how you doing today?
I'm tired.
Yeah. Scrap call.
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Chilling. Ioski.
Pretty good. Had a pretty good weekend. Got the first grass cut of the year in, and got to go to a dinner party with some friends I haven't seen in a while. So,
Dude.
I guess it's cooler up there, but like we've been cutting grass for like 2 months now.
Yeah.
no, like legitimately, it's been raining for like on and off the past couple weeks to where like you'll get that one day where it's nice out, but the grass is still kind of wet. So it was just not a great time. But finally, we got like 4 days in a row, and I'm like, I got to do it now, or I won't have a chance because naturally the day after I did it, just like downpour and the grass was all wet again. So good thing I got it done when I did.
We for the past 2 weekends, my kids have been wanting to do gardening, which is really just entailing me go to Home Depot, picking out a ton of flowers that don't make sense together that my kids want to plant, and then me planting them for them while they watch.
Nice.
Love it.
And
can I give an anecdote? Oh, sorry.
I'm destroyed today. So no nonsense, okay? We already tried to do
anecdote.
a 15 and a 14 and a 13 Nexus. Botched by
in
Scrap.
about 10 minutes.
So Scrap,
In
yeah,
10 minutes. Oh my
what's your
goodness.
anecdote?
So I used to work in a nature immersion preschool, and so it was all about like homesteading and stuff. It was a Montessori.
Of course
And so we had the toddler garden, so you'd take the
Sure.
2-year-olds out, and it was just a nightmare. Like they'd be pulling carrots out of the ground, like, ripping things up, trampling over stuff. So like our produce from the toddler garden was like carrots that were like this big and really sad and everything. Then we had the pig garden, which there was pigs, and we would just throw watermelons and stuff in there, and it was like the Garden of fucking Eden. Like the pig paddock that was only like monitored and tended for by pigs was like better cared for and better fertilized and planted than the toddler garden. So that's just my anecdote that toddlers are not very good gardeners.
Yeah. No, I mean it's they're 6 and 4, so it's not like they're that young, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was exhausting. All right. Lots to talk about. Well, one big thing to talk about this week. I asked you earlier, Lythian, if we thought we had 2 hours worth of yapping to talk about bugs today. You said we do not, but here we go. You're about to embark on our 2-hour journey somehow. Are you guys ready to jump in?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Let's go.
Heck yeah, let's
Cool.
do it.
Let's start with talking about what actually came out this week. All right, after an 8-hour maintenance, we had New World content. Has anyone done the Void Assault yet?
No.
Yeah.
So I've done it on my alt. It's pretty boring.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Is it
they're
the same
kind of boring.
same thing as like the pre-patch?
Kind of.
Wasn't
Or is it
there
more
like
like
the thing in Halifall Assault?
Yeah, was it more
It's
like that?
Yeah. You go out, you kill
Not
some
even.
stuff,
The Halifall one was even
boss.
worse because it was just like you stood in one spot and just like kind of waited for things to come to you. This one you have to fly all over the zone, but they're not really that varied either.
No.
Okay.
It's
What about ritual sites?
boring. I did a couple.
Now, what do you think about those, Lythian?
They were I
They're
mean,
better.
I play tanks. So yeah, they're not bad.
I like the idea that they're kind of like the visions from Horrific Visions, but I mean, I don't think they're as hard or timed like that.
I'm not sure I knew
Well,
about those.
I think if we push up, like if you push up into the harder levels, maybe it'll be a lot more fun. It just was too easy.
At this point, we're so geared though. Like
I know.
We're
I'm
gonna
like
talk about that
280.
later. We're gonna talk about that
Yeah.
later.
281.
No, but the thing is like, so apparently it does get harder on like the level 5s. And this is also apparently a good way to farm the Void Light Marl or whatever, which I
for
think,
furniture.
well, for furniture, professions need a ton of them. And in general, like there's all sorts of, transmog maybe and stuff like that from the vendors. I think if I remember correctly, Mr. GM said that it would require somewhere in the millions of Void Light Marl to get everything on all the vendors, and that's not including things that will come in later patches. And he was like blown away with how much work people would have to do to try to
Yeah, but the thing is most of that stuff you get for free in the quest line. It's just if you want another one, you have to pay the Void Light Marl.
No, this was all stuff that was not collectible without the Marl. I'm
All of
to
that was a
save the time
million?
because this was like a month ago when he tweeted it. I'm not gonna go looking for it, but it was like Mr. GM's usually is like catering to the collectors of the world, and it was very clear he was even going like, this is way too much. So, but apparently they're good for farming that. And they were, kind of like a delve. So, a little more gameplay that was all right. Side note on delves, I've been doing a lot more of them, and
all you've been doing is bitching about them.
I bitched one day because I did an 8 and it was so hard, and your response was, "Yeah, it was really hard for me. I died too." So
in the mirror one.
Yeah, well, it was the same same delve.
Well, that one
one's
wasn't
hard.
hard. It just took so long.
No,
Like
mine
it literally
was
took me like
bugged
40
like
minutes.
crazy. It had
It was
all these
bugged.
mobs stuck in the wall, and I couldn't get past them. And I was also very undergeared. It was like a fresh 90, but I was like, everyone says this is the best way to gear shit. And
well, I think if you
I did
do
another
it
one after
like
that, and it was fine.
yeah, I think if you do it with like a specific setup, like Valera's tanking or healing
Yeah,
or
she was
something, it's
tanking
like
for
really
me.
broken.
Yeah.
Also, these people probably have like level 80 Valera's, I
Well,
don't know.
Have you guys had this bug? I don't know if it's a bug or how it's supposed to work, but sometimes in delves, my Valera will just become super squishy for no reason, and just like her health bar
What do
will
you have
just
her
like
set as?
plateau. Yeah, as a tank, like
Oh, I
it's
not play with her as a
really
tank.
weird.
It was weird.
I wonder because I use Lightsmith in there, so I wonder if it's like the whatever that thing was that you would like spirit link your healths or whatever, but it doesn't do anything with my health, so it's kind of weird. I don't know. It's just a weird thing I noticed. I don't know if anyone knows about that. So
there's all sorts of bugs, which will be our main topic today, but we'll get to that.
And I've probably done less than 10 delves total this entire season, and the only thing I noticed with Valera is that she does fucking butt pull stuff, which is so stupid. I'm
Just
like
to
trying
keep
to go around things like carefully, and she just plows right through
Just
everything.
the mining nodes and
Yeah.
the herbs.
you just gotta learn her route, you know.
Yeah, her route where she runs through everything. I'm like, I want to get out of here in less than 10 minutes. She's like, you're not gonna get out of here in less than 10 minutes.
It's the same thing though I was talking about with the War Within, where there are some scenarios of the delves which are like, oh, this is really fun. Like the mirror one, even though it took a while, it was at least
It was
like
really cool. But
Um,
I couldn't believe how long it took, and I wasn't like going through it slowly. Like I was killing the packs quickly. It's just huge. Like it was weird.
there are definitely some delves that are bigger than others.
Yeah.
But like, there's one in Zolaman or whatever, where it's like you're in a set of hallways and you're just kind of freeing all these captives and stuff.
Yeah, and
just-
there's like
it
an
was
upper level and lower level.
Yeah, and it was just like it was like okay, but
I like
there's the
that one.
same problem I'm having that I had within the War Within, where it's like I do this delve, maybe like out of the past week I've done it 4 out of the 7 days, and all 4 of those days it was the same scenario. I'm just like, what the hell's going on? Like, I would never know it if I hadn't realized it from the War Within. But like again, if I'm a person who doesn't understand the game and I got the same one over and over again, I would maybe say this is boring. And I don't know why they kind of like leave it up to a dice roll. Why not just rotate them once every 3 days if there's 3 of them? And it was kind of frustrating, but whatever. They're
or like let you pick them or something.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, back to 12.0.5. New activity with anglers, Abyss Anglers or whatever it is. Now, Ioski, pre-show you asked about this, so have you done it yet?
No, I haven't. That's why I was going to ask if anyone did it, but then I was like, wait, I should wait till the podcast. So
if I had a camera to record everything we do before the podcast, we'd have another 30 minutes of a show. Sorry, Lythian.
Yeah, it'd be great. No, it's fun. It's fun. I did it. It's you jump into the water and you shoot fish and stuff and you collect things.
You got hit by a pufferfish, right? Just like in Minecraft.
I did get hit by a pufferfish and it scared me
It's like
because I
Minecraft.
didn't expect it. Yeah, it also just like Minecraft. So yeah, it's just a fun thing to do to get some extra currency to buy some. I think the crafting stuff. You could buy some stuff for crafting
for your purple crafting.
Yeah, I don't do that, but yeah.
Which, by the way, they now give away with their weekly quest, which is really nice quality of life upgrade.
Nice.
I mean, it's not a lot, but it's something, you know. All right. What about Decor Duel?
I haven't done that yet. Like I heard it was bugged, like that hunters and demon hunters could just break it, and I haven't caught up.
That bug was fixed quickly. There were some other bugs, but yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was another one where hunters can just look for humanoids.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
No.
And
there was another bug where people were essentially locking the hunters out of the game by blocking the gate.
I'd like that.
Which is not necessarily a bug, but it was like, why didn't they think that would happen?
Yeah.
Block the hunters
funny.
out.
So yeah, I haven't done it either, but I'm looking forward to trying it. But I don't want to try it with randoms. I really love to do it like with a group. So we just haven't got
Yeah,
the
I
chance
want
to
to do it,
together.
Yeah,
but
we can give that a shot sometimes.
we've been all excited about pushing some keys because of the new 3400 reward and stuff, and we've got a ton of gear from the re-rolling and stuff. So I know every time I log on, I'm like, let's push the key up, let's push the key up. So all this extra stuff they added, I haven't been bored enough to try it yet.
Yeah. What about
Although
the new?
there's
Oh, go on.
no, I was gonna say there's that really cool hourglass you can get for doing the decode duel. Though, that
Yes.
does the
Somebody
break
did it.
timer.
Lithian did.
Yeah, very cool.
That wasn't me. It was
Oh,
somebody.
that wasn't. Oh, okay. All right. What about the Void Forge? How have you guys feeling the rolls have been going?
So I did do that, and I did get a rude awakening that I hadn't done it the
At all.
entire season yet.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No surprise.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that there was gonna be a
Well,
reward.
forget
tied
all
to
that.
it.
How are you enjoying the roll system?
So I'm enjoying it a lot because I got really lucky on both my rolls. I wanted to Lythian and I have been in Pit of Sauron, right? Because there's like my Bis pants and like some bracers, and so we've been hitting it a lot because I need both those things. And we haven't been able to get it bracers, haven't been able to get it bracers. So I was like, God, I might as well use my roll here. I could either get the bracers or the pants. Got the pants.
No, you got
Bis
the bracers
pants.
in the. I thought you got the bracers in
Well,
the.
I got the
thing.
bracers like 3 more times after that.
Oh.
Yeah, I got the
Oh,
bracers.
wait, hold on. I could have sworn you opened it and you got the bracers, and you're like, well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll it because there's a chance I could get the myth ones.
I
And then you got your pants.
rolled and got the bracer.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and I think I'd already had the bracers by that point. But my point is that I'm filling out gear slots that I was struggling to fill out before. I only have like 1 champion piece now, so I'm feeling really good. And then I was like, well, what am I going to use it on? Because I thought I'd be rolling at this place for a bit, trying to get one of these things. And I went into Windrunner Spire, and I was like, I might as well use it here because there's 2 trinkets I could get. And I immediately got Heart of the Wind. I was like, this is awesome. This is so good. So I've been very lucky. So I've quite liked it.
I
Yep,
got the
charged your
bracer,
crystals.
and then
Yeah.
I got the wrong trinket out of Skyreach, but it's fine. It's still a decent trinket.
Ayaski, I thought I saw you maybe a tweet or something about how you're like, I wish they would have just given us the first one.
It's I think I just like the I think I just like being able to get in and then you
Picking.
just do you kill your 4 bosses, then you just can pick something real quick. I think I prefer that, but I do think that you get this earlier and you have better chances to get more things overall in terms of like stuff you can get from myth gear. So like Scrap said that stuff she probably would have been pulling out of her vault for weeks, and she just got them both this week because she got lucky. So that's
Yeah, I mean,
pretty good.
I'm restricted because I don't mythic raid by only getting 1 myth upgrade a week generally. But this week I got 3 myth upgrades because I got the
Yeah.
vault and I got 2 rolls. So all of a sudden I like skyrocket up. Now I can't upgrade those things to out of crest, but like
Yeah.
it's still like a skyrocket in player power to me all of a sudden.
Well,
'cause I
especially if
got
they were the
really
bis
lucky.
ones that you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like a Bis dungeon trinket, like unless I get Gaze, which I haven't gotten yet. And then like it is the Bis pants in the whole fucking shebang. So yeah, I was like, wow, this is pretty sick. Now I don't know what I'm gonna target. It depends on I guess what I pull in my vault, but I think I am gonna try to target just some of the heroic raid bits, like the neck or
Gaze,
something
yeah.
like that.
So
Yeah, Gaze.
this is soulbound or sorry, warbbound, right?
No.
Warband
It's-
bound.
The gear you get?
No, the
I was like, that's
like
fucking crazy.
all their void forges. I know you can only get it 1 per character.
No, you can buy them. You buy them on each character.
You have to buy it on each character. So
Okay,
the gold
but you-
or the
but
marl or whatever.
The progress of
stick
the
to-
Void Forges, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
the
that's cool
progress
because
is-
you can come in on an alt and get like a couple
Yeah.
pieces the first week too. So that's pretty cool.
yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my DK got a myth weapon that I didn't need because I crafted one.
Bro,
but
huge for
whatever.
your alts that you could get like 3 mythic pieces. I mean, you could just
Well, you have to do a
You
plus
get
10 to get it. So, like, if you have
Yeah,
an alt that's
but
really fresh, but
everybody's doing plus 10s on their alts at least
careful.
once a
Not-
week.
not-
there's a comment this week,
everybody.
Scrap, where someone came after
Oh
you
shit,
because
I
they
didn't read
said,
the
hey,
comments.
they said, hey, that's not like, it makes me feel shitty when I'm struggling to get through 3s, and Scrap sits there and says, everyone and their mother's getting 3s on backwards. I think
If
is
you're
what you
trying to
said.
get through 3s, I don't know what you're doing.
Someone else said it must be a skill issue, so I don't know. But,
No, if you're struggling to get through threes, come in Discord. I'm gonna help you out, brother, because there is some kind level of user error that is happening.
can we be
there.
clear? Scrap is not going to help out. She's going to pawn it on us to help out.
I'm like a
You're not.
Like I'm like one of those
You're not.
mega church pastors. Like I give you, I do a lot of preaching,
You
but
do
I
a
don't
lot
get
of
a lot
talking.
done.
You do a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of talking. So.
I can get you started. I'm gonna give you just the quick tips. We're gonna check your WoW head. We're gonna do some sims. We're gonna do some logs and see
You
what's going
don't do
wrong.
those
'cause there's
things
something getting wrong.
yourself. Again,
'Cause
you're
I
going
don't
to
need
pawn them
to,
off
'cause
on
I don't
me.
need
You're going to
to.
say Frank's doing
No,
something.
no. So Scrap said she was going to take care of Stoop.
Dude, Stoop is I'm training Stoop to be a fucking warrior, man. Like he's kicking
You're-
like crazy.
No, he's not.
He's doing 14s with us. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. You
You're
just gotta
failing at
remind
your
him.
training duties.
Yeah, no,
you need to work on that.
I've got Stoop
No, he's
handled.
not.
I got him on the one button. He's crushing
Viewers,
it,
On
man.
the
what the
one
takeaway here is that for the past, we'll call it 2 minutes, Scrap has been just exhausting nonsense out of her mouth. Because
That's what you
everything-
wanted. You said you want to stretch
Isn't-
the episode to 2 hours.
No,
I said,
no,
here
I don't
is.
want to. I don't want to give
No.
gaslighting as that solution. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I was just gonna say that I've actually really enjoyed the Void Forge. Take out the fact that yes, it's really cool that if my alt hits 90 and I do a quick 10 or 2, that I can get like 3 pieces of myth gear quickly or whatever. Take out the fact that there's that I personally have had very bad luck rolls with my rolls so far. I find it so much more of an engaging system to sit there and ask myself, do I spend the roll now? It's not like, so for example, Frankenberry, my mage, he needs the 2 trinkets out of the raid. And unfortunately, getting into pugs of heroic has been annoying.
But wouldn't a mythic trinket from the dungeon be better than a heroic trinket from
No.
the raid?
No,
No,
not even close.
not for you.
Not in this
Okay.
Not even
case,
close.
no.
Yeah. In fact, I think the same also is for my paladin. The trinkets out of the
There
raid
are
out the
some
door.
seasons where like a mythic from a dungeon will be better than like your bis from like a heroic raid, but this season the heroic raid ones are
They're
far
so
and away
good.
Well,
Yeah.
way
so
better. Yeah.
So on my enhancement shaman, puzzle box is by far and away the best, right? So that'll be
Mhm.
awesome
Mhm.
if I hunt it
Yeah.
down. So like again on him, I just tried to run an Algathar real quick. I tried the roll, it didn't work out. That's fine, no big deal. He's still got an upgrade because again he's a fresh 90. But again on my paladin, on my mage, my 2 quote unquote mains, had really bad luck rolls. Whatever. It was engaging. I was like, yeah, I know it's like unlikely I'm gonna get something good, but that's okay. I feel no stress about rushing to get them. I know there might be people out there who would, and I understand why they wouldn't like the system better. However, this also came out very early, so we already have our hands on it pretty quickly, which again, we'll talk about gearing in a second. And then on top of that, just like kind of, I love to look at, I'm not going to call it a spreadsheet, but I like to look at all these pages and say like, okay, what do I want to hunt down? And it just makes it like far more engaging for me. So I'm liking it so far.
Look, for
I
me, oh, sorry, go ahead, Io.
No, you're okay. I did the math. So this starts 4 weeks earlier than it would have been for like a normal turbo
Really?
boost
4? I didn't
situation with
realize
like
that much.
Denars.
Yeah.
So let's just say you take those 4 weeks into account, and then if you were to do Denars, that would take about 7 weeks. So if you were to add the 4 on top of that, it would be 11 weeks from the start of this first week to the end of you getting everything with your Denars. Now, if you low roll, you'll still unfortunately take a long time like that if you're waiting to like sift through all the gear to get the one you want, but you potentially could get all the stuff faster if you get lucky. So there's a
It depends
time
on if you want
element
it
too.
out of a dungeon or if you want it out of a raid. 'cause
Yeah,
if you get it out of
exactly.
a dungeon,
Yep.
you get double the rolls. So
Yep.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
but you
Or
also
out of your
double
vault,
loot.
too.
You have double loot to roll against though.
not
So-
all the dungeons. Some of the dungeons
Most.
have only a handful of
I know.
pieces.
Like for example, Rhett and Skyreach. There's like 4 or 5 items, but even then, it's like
Yeah.
1 out of the potential.
Oh,
All the
I have a
8
tip
dungeons.
for the people.
Hold on, real quick. I want to finish a thought about what
Okay.
I was just saying, and then I'll come to it.
Oh, okay, sure. Go ahead.
What I want to point out though is Legion with the legendaries. Did any of you play Legion? I don't think
Nah.
any of you did.
I was
Yeah,
not
I did.
around for Legion, no.
Okay, Lythian was. So if anyone that played Legion will remember that at the first go outset of Legion, you had 2 legendaries you could loot, and then I don't know if you wouldn't get any more at all, or like the long and short of it is you had a hard RNG on your legendaries, and if you didn't get your best in slot ones, it was like death to the character, to the point where I think in the Race the World First, they had to level so many characters because they had to like pray and hope that their RNG would give them their best in slot legendary. Everyone
crazy.
hated that
Sucks.
system at the time, right?
It was
However,
terrible.
I was listening to the Potty C and Dorky was talking about how he actually, looking back on it, really loved that system of the RNG. It made it feel. I'm making these quotes. I'm not going to give Dorky saying that he said it this way, but like it made it feel like an MMO, made it feel like an RPG.
Yeah.
And this isn't obviously as punishing, but at the same time, I feel like even if people are frustrated with it, they're going to start vibing with it a little bit more. As you said, Scrap, like maybe right now they're having some low rolls, but when they get the high rolls, they're going to feel like they're on cloud 9. And this isn't nearly as punishing of that, but people were fond for the Legion system after the fact. So I'm curious to see
But
what
this is,
the overall
I mean, this
community will
is
say.
nice. It's bad luck protection that you could also get bad luck at, but the protection gets upped every time
Yeah.
you have bad luck. So it's like a kind of perfectly fun system, and it has that element of opening up a treasure chest like you want in an MMO, right? And I'm personally like, you know me, I love a good gamble, right? Like in this sort of sense. I unless Abyss drops out of my vault, this vault, I'm fucking 100% taking the extra roll.
Oh,
Like
really?
it's so much more fun. So unless literally Abyss thing drops, like the way I figure, I'm 2 mythic pieces ahead, so I can fuck around a little bit. I'm getting that extra roll because I'm enjoying the rolls so
Are
much.
you even looking, or are you just kind of like, oh, I'll roll right now?
No, I kind of vaguely know what I'm
Okay.
supposed to have, right? Like, but you know me, I get silly with it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to have exactly the
You'll
right
roll
thing.
on the dungeon that has like 14 rings and you don't need a single ring.
No, I won't do that. But I mean, there's pieces that I want. I'm not gonna like crunch numbers on like how many weeks it's gonna take me to get this, like statistically. But
No.
like, I might fuck around. I mean, if I get 3 rolls next week, which I will if I pull from the vault, I'll blow one on raid and then one on a dungeon. That's like the most fun thing I think for me. So.
All right. Anything else about that?
Yeah. I had a tip for the people.
Oh, yeah. What's your
In
tip?
raid, you're only gonna get a hero item, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some things that I would rather have in from raid, like a trinket, and I want that necklace, the shadow necklace thing. And there's not a lot of loot pieces on that boss. Anyway, the tip for the people is if you don't need a trinket from the dungeon, if you're looking for an odd other piece, like a pants or something like that, go through all your specs and see if one of the specs doesn't have a trinket drop or a weapon drop or something like that. You might, like what I realized in Pit is that like if I rolled, I think it was like Vengeance,
tank.
they had less trinkets drop or something, or less weapons drop or something.
Rolls to
So
go against.
yeah, less rolls. So I had a better chance of getting the pants I wanted if I was in Vengeance spec. So flip through all those, see what one you have the best chance to get the item you want. Obviously, you need a trinket. You got to be in the spec that you know.
No, it was the same thing I did with Lythian for he wanted the trinket out of Skyreach, and I was on my Paladin, and I thought, oh, I'll just switch to tank spec. But when I looked, Ret actually had one less item that could potentially roll to me, so I switched to Ret instead. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so take a look at that. It's very specific, you know, if you're trying to get random pants like I was for some. I'm like I said, I get silly with it. I'm not doing the best most optimal thing at most times. I chase my dream.
All right.
Chase your dream.
Are you guys ready? Well, so we had class changes as well. I'm going to save that for later because it seems like the class changes are enamored with a lot of the bugs that have been coming in. So are you guys ready to talk about
there's still
bugs?
in it, right? Like I think people are not sure what bugs are fixed and what bugs are not. Like
so
it's kind of up in the air.
Let's go through it real quick. The headline on Wowhead reads, Bugs pervade patch 12.0.5's launch, leading to severe player frustration.
They're just vibe coding.
So there's class bugs. Unholy DK seemed to have the worst of it, but Pres Evokers had some issues. I know Holy Paladin, we'll talk a little bit about that in a second, but this is from early in the week, and there's been a new one that was discovered today. Mistweavers, I know. Devourers had some things going on. Windwalker monks.
Theirs didn't actually make it in, apparently, and I guess it's been fixed, but I don't even know.
I've heard from Fear, who always says that there are bugs in this class, that there are more bugs for Warlocks. So here's Elsmir's tweet today, which is apparently, I can't, let's see if I zoom out. No, that didn't help. That the beacon for Holy Paladin is broken. So what happens apparently is they added a feature or a part of the beacon where if you use Flash of Light or Holy Light, it would move your Apex beacon, the Apex talent. For those who don't know, effectively it's like a third beacon that will jump around to your lowest health target. And if you use those to move it, it breaks all your beacons, allegedly.
Hmm.
And you have to relog every time you zone into a dungeon to fix it. The thing is no one asked for this feature to be added, the Frost of Light, Holy Light. The
Nobody at
classes
all
on.
asked for it.
Like no one was complaining about the Apex talent. It was working, fine. I guess they wanted to add some more, whatever to it. So yeah, class bugs. Unholy DKs had the worst of it. We had our Unholy DK in raid this week, and they just like dropped off the face of the planet. You can see. Let me see if I've got the patch notes or whatever. They have like hotfix notes every day of all the things they fixed. I don't get them.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But like every day, Unholy was showing up with a new bug fix. So again, it's been about Laura was bugged. Illyria was bugged. Player housing was broken. Had to be disabled. The Keystone Myth achievement wasn't even in the patch. It had to be added 3 or 4 days later. We had we talked about this. The decor duels were marred by the Trek humanoids and also people locking the hunters out of the game. They had to temporarily, or they already did temporarily, disable Void Assault incursions due to quote unquote a new issue. We have the Void Cores bug, where if you rolled on a Void, rolled your Void Core on a bonus roll and did the dungeon again, it didn't take the loot off the roll, and you could potentially have gotten double loot. Now, most of these have been fixed, if I remember correctly. But I wanted to kind of start with just the overall problem. Has this been the worst patch when it comes to bugs?
Depends on who you're asking.
I'm
I
asking
guess.
you donkey.
Well, I feel like a lot of patches have been buggy on release. I think why people are noticing it more is because it's like specifically classes are super broken. Like super broken. I know Unholy was like really badly busted and fucked up.
Yeah.
And those guys like to complain a lot. But for me, I wasn't really bothered because there was like some fix that was supposed to go in and it just didn't. So I was like, oh, I didn't even know it was broken. I didn't notice it. I was chilling, doing a lot of keys, whatever, no big deal. But I don't know.
You also
I
weren't
feel
able to
like,
get your Void Cores until day
yeah,
5
I
or
didn't
whatever.
even have it unlocked. So yeah, the Void Core thing was they kind of fucked up everything they released, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah, that was the point I was gonna make. Lythian.
Yeah.
They didn't impact me too much. I always save, like when new things come out, like void cores and things. I like to hold until I see what other people are doing, and then I kind of knew what I wanted to get anyway. But no, I didn't feel the impact too much. I did try Unholy because I want to learn how to play it, but it was probably not a good time to try to figure that out. So, but yeah, no, I didn't feel the bugs too much.
I ask you.
The only one I can think of in recent memory that was really bad was 11.0.5, which I think had a bunch those shaman. There's like a bunch of shaman bugs when they like rework shaman. The rogues were doing
the
like
combo
ridiculous.
points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it had like that bug that got a bunch of keys taken off the leaderboards. So that's the one I think in recent memory. But this is definitely one that I think stands out because, like Scrap said, everything that was kind of new at this had some kind of impactful bug. And I think the fact that they introduced this new system, and it's kind of like the big thing for this new thing.
Everyone
like, oh
was
hey,
hyped
like you're
about
gonna
it too.
yeah, exactly. And then you go in with your bonus roll and you're like, all right, I did one already, better chance to get this, and then you get the same thing again. Yeah, I can imagine that feels pretty bad. So
What I love though is that the statistics of that happening in the first place, where you like within the first night go to let's say Skyreach or whatever, roll and then run again because you only get 2, and then run again. Well, I guess you could have a third, but
And hit it again.
run it again and hit it again and going, wait, what? Like that is so unlikely to happen. Not so unlikely, but it's unlikely to happen.
So unlikely, like 1 in 5 or whatever.
No, because most dungeons will have 8 to 10, right?
Yeah.
And so yes, of course, like it could have been a low roll on a certain dungeon, certain class, whatever. But yeah, the point is that like it's so strange that happened for so many people so quickly.
Yeah. Well, if
I
it happens to 1 in 8 people or 1 in 10 people, that's a
That's
lot
enough. Yeah, that's
of
enough. Yeah.
people, right? Like that's gonna be a lot of
I
people.
not a WoW historian, so I can't think of any patch that someone who played the game a long time might know one in particular that they're like, was more buggy than this. But at least since I've been playing, this is the one I feel like since it's come out, I've just every day it just seems like there's something new on Twitter or on
Well,
Wowhead that I'm
well,
like,
we were doing Illyria prog, and I think you got disconnected and Lythian got disconnected, and
Oh yeah, see that I find super frustrating. Like
Yeah.
the anything that interferes with like raid or keys or whatever, then I'm like, okay, torch and pitchfork immediately. Let's go. Like so.
yeah, that does suck. Yes, because it's always on like reset days, and people
Yeah,
always
and
tend to raid
Tuesday, I'm
on those
always
days.
looking
Yeah.
forward to the raid on Tuesday. And it's like you're gonna fuck with my Tuesday raid. That's gonna make me really sad.
some people came out and started talking to me about how, like, oh Frank, how are you gonna bootlick for Blizzard on this kind of bad patch? I feel like I've always said patch day is my exception, where I always just anticipate there being bugs and it's just being a mess.
Yeah.
To the point where I always kind of like tell myself it's gonna be okay if I don't play tonight because it's just not gonna work.
Yeah.
There definitely have been patches where they have a patch day, we can't raid that night,
Yeah, because
or
I remember in Shadowlands, some patches went until like 10 p.m. or something. I might be misremembering it,
being
but like,
released. Yeah,
yeah, we weren't able to play because they didn't release it by raid time
yeah,
before.
yeah. There
Which I don't
maybe
know if
one.
that's
I don't know.
preferable.
Um,
I don't remember exactly.
Well, the
what it
thing
was.
is that they're not even like when they had that problem. I don't believe it's because they're fixing bugs. It's because they're just having trouble with the server taking the update, right? They don't see the bugs because it's not like they're playing it. It's not like they're sitting there going,
Yeah.
okay, is everything? That's what the PTR is for. But it's not been the only time where there have been these kind of bugs. Now, there have been a ton of bugs, as we pointed out, probably a bug for every single feature that launched, and including the class changes and all the class bugs. So it's probably like collectively maybe the worst patch release ever. Enough so to the point where Blizzard came out and said,
Yeah, they
now th-
apologized.
now they
Pretty
put this
brutal.
they put this originally in the ambassadors, and then they put the blue post up, but like, hey, it wasn't up to our standards, disrupted time, blah blah blah. The thing is, what did they fix? Well, they refunded void cores for anyone that spent them by, I think someone said by 8 p.m. of Wednesday. Fear said that,
Yeah.
but
Did they get to keep the thing they got?
yeah.
Mm.
The reason why they got
Yeah.
to keep it, is because they weren't able to change it so that if you had like rolled on pants and you're happy to have your pants, and they gave you the core back, you would still have those pants in your roll system. Now, the way I look at it though is not many people are going to use their rolls on the same dungeon over and over again, wanting like getting their best in slot and then getting a second best in slot, right?
Mhm.
So, for example, let's say I got the trinket that I was really wanting, and then I got my core back. I'm probably not going to use it in that dungeon again. I got my trinket, right?
I don't know. I feel like a lot like Windrunner has the 2 really good trinkets, and I feel like that's got to be not that uncommon.
Again, I'm sure it's not impossible, but I would say
My
it's
strategy
uncommon.
was to target like a dungeon where I wanted more than one thing out of it. Like that's what I wanted
Yeah,
to do
but would you say those
first.
pants that you got were best in slot pants?
They are best in slot. The bracers are
Oh.
not, but the pants
Okay,
are. So, and the pants is like huge because I
Well,
had 4 other slots
now let's
that
say you
are
got 2 of them.
specific.
How would you feel about that?
Yeah, that would be
yeah, because
fucking
okay,
sweet.
so Scrap, let's say you were on time and you got 2 refunded back to you, right?
Dude,
And you were to
yeah.
go back and roll again, would you go roll again in Pit of Saren this time?
No, I
Right? So like
okay. I would do
you're
something.
getting the benefit out of the fact that you got 2 extra rolls, and
Now
you
I
get
want a refund just because everybody else got one.
Well, that's
I
another
want to be
thing
like
too.
everyone else.
Hold on now. Now I'm
You should have been an early
behind.
adopter.
That
Should've
has
been
been
earlier.
a controversy. People are saying, wait, we thought there was a bug, so we've been holding our rolls and now we lose out. And I think I posted a tweet, only WoW players could feel bad that they weren't able to optimize a bug. Like,
Yeah. And in fact, they should ban everybody who took advantage of the bug. That's what they normally do. Like
No,
ban
no.
them.
What do you mean took
you.
advantage? No one took advantage. If anything, they were at a disadvantage.
Yeah, well then they took advantage of
They
the
took
good graces of
disadvantage,
Blizzard.
Scrap. Everyone should have
Yeah.
taken disadvantage, is what you're saying.
yeah, everyone should have rolled their rolls out when they were a bug, knowing because they knew they
In
they might
fairness,
fix them up.
the second that they acknowledged it was a bug, I think it was fair to say everyone knew that they were gonna have to do something to fix it,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So you could
I
have taken advantage of it and you just chose not to.
Yeah.
No, I hadn't had it unlocked until like Thursday because I'm slow.
Um,
Nice.
so they, again, bad enough that they felt they had to apologize for it. Now, as far as I can tell, like for example, Unholy DK had most of their bugs fixed by Thursday or Friday. I think Thursday because I remember saying, "Oh, raid will be fine tonight." Most.
Yeah.
Again, there might have been more. The decode duels was fixed within the first day. The player housing was up and running within the first day. We didn't get to Lura on Tuesday, but it was working by Thursday, as far as I can tell. And they worked, relentlessly to make sure they fixed whatever was mega broken. Do you think that they at least had earned some goodwill with the fact that they, rose to the occasion and said, we're going to make sure everything's working quickly?
No, they should have done better testing, bro.
I want to talk about testing too. We'll get to that in a
It's
second.
crazy that everything was broken and they had to fix it. Like, I'm not gonna give them
No,
applause
yeah,
for
that's
fixing it
true.
fast. They shouldn't have broke it in the first place.
Well, you and I got into a little, I think it was you and I that got into a little argument about this because I said there's no way that like
don't think
anything's
so.
ever going to come out bug free.
Frank was arguing with
I
everybody.
don't think it was with me.
I think that
'Cause I feel. Go ahead, Io.
I appreciate them coming out and acknowledging it. I know that sometimes you'll have individual developers coming out and saying things, but you very rarely have Blizzard, I feel like, as a whole kind of acknowledging it. Usually you just see, on Wowhead, there's like, Blizzard's fixing this, and then that's it. But this also kind of reeks of like I've been joking that one episode of South Park where they spoof the BP oil spill, and it's those guys in the commercials, and they're like, "We're sorry."
No,
Yeah.
it was
sorry.
Carlos Mencia,
Totally
right?
like that.
Was it?
Yeah, Carlos Mencia is the one who's saying I'm sorry because he was accused of like stealing jokes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
and he just kept going,
So-
I'm sorry,
So it kind of reminded me of that. But I mean, I appreciate them coming out and saying it. I don't know if goodwill is the right
why
word
does
to
it
use.
reek
better
of
than
that
nothing.
though? Why does it reek of
Because
that?
it's like because it's just one of those things. It's just like, I mean, what else are they gonna say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of because it's every, they could say that, and then the next patch comes out, and then it happens again. Then what are they gonna post the same thing? Like, this isn't up to our standards. We gotta do better. Like,
They've posted
That's-
something like this
that's
before,
it.
haven't they?
I
have,
just
but-
feel like I feel like you're right, Frank, where when stuff comes out, it's tough for it to not be bugged, and it unfortunately it's just a sad reality of the game right now.
So they had a
And-
blue post. Oh, sorry, go on. I didn't know you.
No, I was just gonna say, and I mean, did they earn goodwill? I'm glad that they fixed the stuff, but I wouldn't say goodwill because at least in my mind, they should be fixing it anyways, right? Like,
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would expect them
But
to.
they did
So,
it,
I mean,
they did it promptly, right?
Yeah, sure.
No, so they
Well, they
I
haven't
don't
fixed your bug, Frank. Your beacon bug.
well, it was just discovered today, so they haven't even had a chance. But the thing is that I think they posted a blue post. Maybe they just put it in the community, the ambassador community. But they like explained why the void core bug was happening. Apparently, like on the PTR, they had a certain database that doesn't operate the same. Again, my words, not theirs. Operate the same way that the databases on live operate, and so because of that,
Mhm.
it broke.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to get to the idea of the PTR and how these things get through. As far as I know, none of these bugs were found on the PTR. Now, maybe there were some class ones, but because it's the PTR so soon after an expansion launch, it's like that one DK that runs the class Discord that's shouting about it, but no one else is paying attention.
Right.
Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. And
No, you're good. I mean, this is a season where people are playing like 3 million keys a week. So I feel like if you have a lull, normally you might get people checking out the PTR, but I feel like this is one of those PTRs where people aren't going to do it as much. Hopefully
Yeah.
Frank doesn't die. I was trying
no,
to buy him
I'm
some
trying to
time,
look
but
up to get
He
a
might
sneeze,
die.
but no.
It sounds like he's gonna die.
If you
Hey,
look
look.
up, you'll sneeze, but no, whatever.
Yeah,
Frank,
literally,
go.
who's doing the PTR right now? Like
Here's
the
the
people who are
problem.
done with Mythic Raid, I guess. I don't. Like,
No.
Yeah, here's the problem though. This game isn't new. This game's been out for a long time. They've been doing this for a long time. They're backed by a very big organization. It's not like they're a small game company. And
Are you trying to
I'm-
sugar me?
Yeah, this
No,
is
no.
the constant like indie
I'm
game
just-
company.
Well, it's true though, but it's like
True.
it's like some bugs are okay, small bugs, little things, but this last run
Every
was.
single class bugged, like
I mean,
basically.
I didn't feel it because it wasn't one of the classes I play. But you tend to remember if your class that you were playing was bugged, because that's like the biggest thing in the whole world because it directly impacts you.
Especially
But
if it's big push week, like
yeah, the player base as a whole, like it was Unholy DK is a large player base right now, and
huge.
so you heard it
Because it's meta.
loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the meta DPS or one of them, and so it's not like this is foreign to them. They need to learn how to test. They need to figure out how to automate some of these tests. They need to figure out uh, the database thing is a dumb thing to me.
Well,
But
it's a dumb mistake to make. Yeah.
yeah, it's just silly, and I don't know, man. I know that.
I have so many things to talk about here. Like, just we can go in so many
Oh
different
yeah,
directions.
go for it.
No,
Go
so
for it.
okay, so let's talk about the PTR, right? Do you believe, because I've seen it so many times with beta, where people say all these bugs from beta are coming into WoW, right? I think even Megaset talked about something with Mistweavers coming into from beta into live. And I got into the argument, I thought it was with Scrap as well, but I know like Scarron was there from our community
I
about
don't
like
remember arguing about this.
people
I
kept
feel
talking
kind of mild
well, no,
about this.
it was like talked about that they need to hire more devs, right? And
Oh.
my thought process was like that's not necessarily the solution for two reasons. One,
Yeah,
like
I remember
are
now.
you are you going to dedicate a dev to every single possible thing? And two, once you do that and then there are no more bugs, do you just continue to pay for all these devs to sit around and do nothing, right? And so like logistically, it just that's not how the world works when it comes to of course you could add more, right? But like where is that balance to say we're not wasting money as a company, which is their fiscal responsibility, to also, is it good enough? No patch will ever come out spotless. It's impossible, right? So is it good enough? And in this case, it wasn't, even by their standards, as they admitted, right? But I think of the other major billion-dollar companies, Adobe. We were just talking about how Photoshop
Okay, well, fucking
shit,
Adobe is
right?
the
Microsoft,
bottom.
Microsoft is shit, right? Even Apple now throws out all these fucking shitty updates, right? And Apple's supposed to be the glorious, whatever.
Let me tell you about this Pokemon Go update. I really hate it.
Thanks
That's
for telling
all.
us.
I won't
Anyways.
get
So
too
my
deep
point
into
is
it,
this:
but-
like I get it that I always think back even to like someone said like Mario, original SNES Mario, right? It's like, oh, it's so bug free. No, speedrunners take advantage of bugs all the
yeah, what are you
time,
talking
right?
about?
But
It's
like I get
they
it on the
understand so
surface,
much-
like for an average everyday user, it does look bug free. But it also went through years of testing, maybe, or year of testing. Whereas now I'm starting to see people say that they want the patch cadence to slow back down because this is not acceptable. My thought immediately went to, we had bugs in the other patch cadence. This is not a patch cadence problem. Lythian might be right about the idea that it's the quality assurance part of it, but I don't know. Like, I feel like there's so many variables here that there's no way to get a patch out that's flawless. And so how do you find that balance to say it's good enough? And to the other side of that, and again, I'm sorry, I'm trying to like blurt out all my ideas at once here. Let's say that Unholy had that bug and they identified it 2 days before the PTR or before the patch came out, right? Are they going to stop the patch from coming out because they don't have that bug fixed?
Well, they can just say this is releasing it the following week.
Oh, and that'll go well. Wait, release the patch?
No, just that part of the patch, like the Unholy bit. Like, say we're still working on that. It's like they did with the Mythic Dungeon things. They released it later in the week.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's
That way the
simple.
Unholy doesn't have to have a day of being broken. They have a day of business as usual, and then the day of the fixes.
I don't know, Lythian. What do you think? Is that something that they could pull off?
What if they want? Here's the thing, man. Hiring more developers is dumb. That's not going to fix anything. Releasing, the problem is if they didn't release the Unholy changes, it could have threw balance way off. It could have done some other things.
Well, it did throw balance way off though.
Well,
This is
by
definitely
releasing
worse
it,
than
it
business as
broke.
usual because they were already meta. Like it's like if they were for 2 or 3 days didn't get their bits
I
that
mean,
they wanted.
I'd argue it was karma for buffing a meta class to begin with, but
Yeah,
whatever.
it was some cosmic karma. Yeah, no. When we saw those charts come out, like for the predicted,
Yeah.
balancing, people were
You got a buff
crashing out.
scrap.
Well, I don't even know if it's implemented yet because it wasn't implemented for the first couple days. I haven't really gone into it and actually seen like, oh, am I getting extra souls or whatever in single target? I don't know. I don't know enough about that. When I get meta up, it's up. Like I don't know.
That's a
Like
good point too. I don't like I'd say the four of us are well informed WoW players, right? But
I
like
would say reasonably, yeah.
I didn't notice the beacon bug. I didn't notice I don't think there were any bugs for enhancement, and there were none for Brewmaster.
No,
Mage
not
doesn't have
really.
any bugs that I know of, but like they did make some changes, and even then I didn't notice it until a week, like 2 days in. I was like, oh, that I remember they changed that now. And I'm just wondering maybe if Blizzard thinks they can get by with this, not of course the unholy one, but like every other class's bugs, being like the average player doesn't know. Yeah, the top 5,
Yeah.
10% are gonna be furious, but at the end of the day, like it's okay. Of course,
Well,
this
the
patch isn't
Unholy
okay,
was
but
big enough to fucking
Yeah.
ruin it. But and also like marksmanship got all fucked up too, didn't
yeah,
it? Like
marksmanship
yeah.
was bugged.
Dude, yeah. I don't know. It was pretty bad. It was really bad the amount of bugs in this
But
one.
do you
But
think that they should have halted the patch?
if they knew it was broken, they should have. But maybe they
I
didn't know it was.
imagine they probably didn't realize half the stuff existed, to
Oh,
be
of course.
honest.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
if
I
they'd
don't
have
know.
known, they wouldn't have released it.
I feel like I've been successfully Stockholm syndromed into being like I don't care. Like patches are always buggy, Like I'm
Yeah.
kind of in that camp of like patches are always buggy. This one was extra buggy. They fixed it in a couple days. It's not gonna ruin my life if it's fucking broken for like 2 days or whatever. But I don't think I think that we should as consumers still hold high expectations for the company that
Yeah.
we're paying for. It's a big company.
You have a subscription model to it.
Yeah, exactly.
know-
I'm happy they gave the apology. I mean, if I had any kind of upsettedness, even a PR written by ChatGPT ass apology is I still appreciate the acknowledgement of a mistake, and I'm hoping that means they won't be like, oh, people kind of just like ate it up, and it's gonna be off the Twitter like mindset in a week. There'll be some other thing to make people forget that this happened, and we could just do it again.
Did you
So-
know
What?
that I think in Europe they raised the price of the subscriptions
UK
for all those? Is in the
Yeah.
UK?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
So-
Did the
Thanks,
UK do
Brexit.
that, or did Blizzard do that? I don't know what the fuck. Is there tariffs on WoW subs now?
I didn't read into it because I'm not from the UK. I just heard they rose
If you're from the
prices.
UK, tell us in the comments. and
I
you know,
mean, you could probably
you know
look.
about it.
But
There were a
yeah.
couple other countries, but I don't think they were in Europe.
Yeah,
I
tell
don't know.
tell us what's going on with that. Did Donald Trump put a tariffs on video games now?
my
That
God.
blows.
Oh my gosh, don't.
Please,
That
scratch.
blows.
Put it to bed.
We're not getting into the politics.
I just
No.
want them in the comments to tell me what happened. Like, what's wrong with that?
Gosh.
I lost my train of thought now from this damn tariff thing. Okay, so I think like Scrap is right. I'm probably Stockholm syndrome about it a little bit as well. But it's been
You
like
definitely are. You
no.
definitely
But
are.
about the
Wait,
specific, about the specific problem. Because again, like even back in vanilla, and we even talked about this because recently they gave us game time for just even having the patch come out late because they had to like keep the system whatever servers
Yeah,
going.
I feel it. That's the thing is that these patches being all fucked up. I'm mad about it for a couple days, and then I would say I'm infinitely more mad about the fucking login screen. You know what I mean? Like that's like a lasting anger for me. These patches, they fix them. Whatever. I don't really care.
Did you guys play other MMOs?
I played Asheron's Call for a brief second.
I
Not
played Final
seriously.
Fantasy 14 for about 2 months. So
Yeah, not enough for a patch cycle.
no, I didn't even get into the current like content.
I played EverQuest. I played Dark Age of Camelot. I played Star Wars.
Yeah, I played
The
some of
Old
those like
Republic.
for a
Wow.
minute, not much.
And
Not for a patch cycle. really.
but I have and every patch release there was always something, right? It wasn't ever. It wasn't ever. Rarely it was it perfect. I didn't play Final Fantasy. I don't know about that one too much. But rarely was it ever perfect. It usually equated to balancing issues and things like that, which was a big deal in some of those games. But I feel like, we're so close to World of Warcraft. We've been playing it for such a long time. Our expectations, this last run was pretty bad, right? I think that's pretty below expectations. But I
Yeah.
think our expectations are heightened because, they're owned by Microsoft. They, have a subscription base that is huge, and they're getting paid a lot of money, to produce quality content. And so I don't know. I don't know if it's an expectation thing or if it's like maybe they need to work on getting more test engineers. Maybe they need to work on like the
Well,
PTR thing is terrible. Like I don't want to trust average players to test my game. I want to figure
The
out how to
average player
test it.
doesn't play the PTR though.
Well, you know what I mean, like the content writers or
unpaid
whatever.
players. Yeah.
They're not like if they incentivize me to go test their game, I would go test it.
So let's
Give
talk
me the
about that for a second.
benjies.
Let's talk about that for a second because I thought about this and I was wondering why they wouldn't have done it already. And I'm wondering if they're worried that if they incentivize, let's say, for every bug you submit, you get something, right?
Yeah.
If they would be overrun or given really bad reporting. It's like they want quality over
Yeah.
quantity, right?
But now you
So how
have
do
AI.
well,
to sift through
but
all
like, what
that.
is a way that they could get quality bug reporting? And the
Well,
problem
okay,
is,
so
hold on,
maybe
sorry,
for
hold on,
every
hold
sorry,
on.
go on, go on, go on.
Well, the
Yeah.
reason I'm saying this though is because there are examples, as I talked about earlier, where people like Meg will tell them and probably even have a direct connection to developers to say like, hey, I'm DMing you to let you know this is a problem. And they don't fix it. Now, why they don't fix it might be because like they can't figure out the problem or they have other bigger bugs they have to fix before the game goes live.
Mhm.
I've seen it at firsthand, and again, Lythian, you have too, where developers will release an application or an update in a bug status because they don't believe those bugs are game breaking. I don't think any of these bugs would be considered game breaking. They might have been really problematic, but they didn't break the game.
Very widespread.
Outside of maybe like the raid, like Laura not being able to be killed the first night, but again, they fixed it within hours and whatever. But like incentivizing people to go on and post, I don't know if they're going to get what we would want them to get out of that.
I feel like if you're incentivizing it, it should be not based on like how many bugs you submit because that's just going to encourage like a lot of false reports, but just like in general interaction with the PTR. So if you play it for like a couple hours or something,
Sure, but how do
like
they like? What if I just log in and sit in Silvermoon for 15
I
hours?
don't know, if you don't AFK, I guess like
They can
there gotta
write
be some way
ways
for
to
them to
figure that out.
track. Like maybe there's like a like a trading post type
Scrap. They can't even track
UI.
bots who are farming shit. Like,
No, but I mean, let me. There's like maybe a trading post type UI where it's like, oh, do 5 dungeons and you'll get like some kind of incentive or something. It's like, okay, do the quest line and you'll get some kind of incentive, like so they can get them to target specific things that they need tested. If they're like,
okay,
man, we really struggle on this
so
boss, so it's like maybe it's like do this boss.
let's use Unholy DK as an example, right?
Mhm.
Because I think there's an example of where like it makes sense to me Lura breaking wasn't found out because who's going on and testing Mythic Lura or whatever, right?
Well, if it was incentivized specifically,
Well,
then
you're gonna get 20 people to like collectively go, oh yeah, I'm all in and let's go and do it. No, that's just not gonna happen.
Do we
Right?
know what the unholy decay bug was caused by?
they changed like the way their Apex talent worked, I think, and
Well,
it just didn't work.
I know that they made it so that with the Apex talent, like apparently it was, I think they said here it's like
They like
30% of the
redesigned a
ticks
talent
were not
and it
working.
wasn't implemented like at all, I think. I
Oh,
may be
so
wrong, but so they just didn't have an Apex talent.
I'm not quite sure that's something you can test for because that sounds like a transference like issue.
Well, and so here's one right here
So
where the Army of the Dead, you're losing a massive chunk of damage because during cooldowns because the commander isn't being applied to our pets as soon as they
yes.
spawn.
Mm.
So maybe this is an example that we could use, right? But usually I'll see people say like, oh, this was reported on the PTR long ago and they just didn't fix it. Okay. I haven't seen that in this case. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but how do you incentivize like the one way you could incentivize it is like if you report a bug that was, considered critical, then you get a week's worth of game time. Like, is that?
I think I don't know why incentivizing like the bugs feels a bit weird to me.
It does.
It's
Well,
like
it feels weird because it doesn't make sense.
when you attach a reward to like a tip hotline, you get a ton of crazy people calling in tips.
Exactly.
You know?
And not only that, but let's say
that's
it's
not. I think my method would be fine.
Let's say that the 50,000. Well, no, because you couldn't do that for Unholy, right?
No, but I think naturally you would have everybody playing what spec they play.
Sure,
so
but they wouldn't be reporting things because they'd just be like, "Oh, let me go do 5 dungeons," and whatever, I'm done.
Yeah.
So,
sure, but when if they noticed a bug that was like fucking up, they're like, man, I'm doing like no damage. What the fuck? Then they would be incentivized to report it so their character wasn't fucked up.
But they wouldn't know why that's happening.
Well, they could report and say, hey, like I'm doing like no damage, and they need to figure out what's going on.
The dev is gonna write back skill issue, right?
Sure, then that's a skill issue on their part if they're getting tons of DKs like saying like this is fucked up and then not looking into it.
That could happen, yes, right?
Yeah.
But I think that that's not a likely scenario.
But I mean, don't the devs have like performance?
Scrap. Imagine
like
the Ret
statistics or
Discord.
something, and
Imagine the Ret Discord coming in and going, "Let's all go in there," and they all are immediately complaining that their DPS isn't high.
This
enough.
is the problem of having the populace test your game for you. Like you need. I'm sure they have like people who quality test who are on the payroll, right?
They do.
Like, yeah.
They do.
So
and they in the past they've laid off a lot of those people too.
They shouldn't be relying heavily on the public because the public isn't good quality assurance testers.
Absolutely.
They're like the Ret Discord. And
the reason why the reason why they lean on the PTR, the public, is because even when let's say they were doing a flawless job of the quality assurance, the second it comes out, you got people like Rex Troy or whatever his name is, who will be able to one solo a boss because they figured out some really clever thing. And that's why they want the public to come out.
That sort of thing is not what these bugs were. Like,
no, he's done it where he even reports the bugs.
These bugs, these bugs that came out were not people. Maybe the prop hunt one where people were like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to track humanoids." It's like something I didn't expect. These bugs were a failure of them implementing the stuff that they tried to implement.
No, I know. Okay, well. I
think it's different. I think also to note that this was very extremely widespread bugs. There were bugs in, the prop hunt, there was bugs in the raid boss, there's bugs in all the classes that were getting adjusted. Like this is an unusually widespread failing, and you can't just say like if there's definitely got to be some mistake in the pipeline for it to fail this across the board.
Yeah, and Blizzard normally would say we really need people on the PTR. They didn't say that this time, to my knowledge. So it's not like they're blaming the public on this, right?
I think I'm just saying that. I think maybe they learned that doesn't makes people upset, probably. Like because they're like, because then what's the answer to that? I'm not testing your game for free. Like that's what people say. So just leave that out of the apology. Full stop.
The challenge was this is an 05. It was the 05 release, and they'd been posting potential fixes and notes. Like the Master of Harmony stuff was posted for Brewmaster a long time ago. Like we all knew it was coming. So they've been working on a lot of this stuff for a long time, right? So I think they had ample time to test, which is probably why they didn't ask for people to jump on PTR or whatever. But the reality was because it was an 05 release, they were doing so many things all at the same time because they were trying to cram all this content into this release. And, that's how you get the widespread, issues in different places because they're just cramming so much stuff into that release. And
I don't really even feel like there were huge class reworks to justify why some of these were so broken.
I mean,
there were some though, like Marksmanship got and Unholy got reworks to their talents. One of the rogues did. I think it was Sub got a decent rework to some talents. Survival got some reworks in one of their hero talents. Like, so
I mean, they did a quality of life change for Master of Harmony, and that's it for Brewmaster. And like, I'm not super close to any of the other classes, so I don't really.
Well, we've already discussed what Scrap considers a rework, but I'm not going to get into that again.
Talent rework. I'm not talking about class rework. They reworked the way some talents worked that were not being used because of poor implementation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just we can look at this and we say you know, like in the past, I know Frank Ewer's been like, well, you know, they didn't have enough people on the PTR, or they didn't have this, they didn't have this.
I don't
Well,
think
There
that's
can't,
this is not a
you know, there can't be an excuse for this widespread of a failing in quality assurance. There was
like
something that
the
went
Lura
wrong.
bug is a like if maybe it would have occurred on PTR, but again, no one's gonna go test
Yeah.
that, right?
I mean, I'm wondering because this is like the earliest they've put a 0.5 patch ever, or I don't know, like or in recent memory, that maybe it's just simply not enough time to do the quality assurance testing they need to for this much content. And if
well,
the next one is more in line with like the War Within like 0.5s, but it's less broken like the War Within 0.5s, like
You mean timing wise is more within,
timing wise, yeah. That like yeah, maybe they were trying something out, saying, hey, could we push out all this shit like and it be quality before, and clearly there's some failing, you know, in their system that didn't allow it. Maybe it's the time, maybe it's some boob who isn't doing their job. I don't know. Like,
boob who's not doing their
hold on.
job.
yeah,
Hold on,
like
hold on.
it
Let's
could
stop
be
for a second.
anything.
Hold on.
That's rough.
Ayaski, you've been quiet for like 40 minutes now.
40
Not been
He's
40 minutes.
pondering his.
We've
he's
been
pondering
talking
his
about this for
answer.
40 minutes, so I've definitely not been quiet for
Yeah,
40 minutes.
he's pondering his,
What are
summary
your
of
No,
thoughts,
his
no,
Ayaski?
opinion.
I feel like I don't know what the answer is for how they fix it, and I just feel like it's inevitable. Even AAA studios like Bethesda are famous for releasing buggy games, and people love Skyrim, you know. But I mean, with games that are this size with all these moving parts, inevitably some things are going to get through the cracks. And unfortunately for Blizzard, they don't have the modding community that Bethesda games have to fix all that stuff for them. So they got to do it themselves, and I'm not quite sure how that works from when they transfer it from PTR to live. But I just think we're you know, I just think it's one of those things where as players, you know, obviously we hope they do their best, and we'll just have to deal with it. That's kind of where I'm at.
We didn't even talk about what they broke some add-ons over the patch, and then like for 2 to 3 days, half of the people in our guild were like, "Oh, I can't play because I have to figure out why my add-ons
Well,
not
that's
working
not
anymore."
their fault for
No,
breaking
I know
add-ons.
it's not. I know it's
like,
not. I know.
I
I'm just
haven't
saying
turned
that's
my
like another.
add-ons back on.
That's how bad it was.
like-
No one was able to complain about that, you know.
yeah. I don't know. I only had 2 add-ons, and like I've been playing fine without them. I'm like I wish I had them, but
What?
I haven't.
I mean,
One of
looked
my
into
add-ons
it.
broke of my 2, and I had to just like I was like, fine, delete it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, right.
I haven't put it back on.
Here's what I would love. Like, we're on the outside. We don't know what's happening on the inside.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening.
Blizzard,
So
bring us inside.
yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be cool if like
If you're
they
cold,
brought us
we're cold.
inside. And
You're cool.
yeah, let
We're
me
cool,
check
you're cool.
out your pipelines. Let me make sure that, you know, let me just
Then we
let
can
me just look
really
at a few things.
complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we could help solve the problems
Yep.
together.
Get
Frank
rid
will
of
be like,
Greg.
"Oh my god, these boots are so much dirtier than I thought. How can I possibly lick them?"
Oh no.
That would be my prediction.
All right, let's put some final like verdicts on some of this stuff.
Final verdict?
Is 12.0.5 the buggiest mess that they've ever patched?
Let me give my verdict. Yes, but
Okay, good job. Oh,
I don't care. like it's fine.
Lythian.
They
Yes,
fixed
but
it
I
in less
don't
than a
care.
week. To my taste, I'm Stockholm syndromed out of caring about this. They were successful. Congratulations. The ChatGPT, sorry, worked on me. I am abused.
yeah, sorry.
That's it.
Lythian.
I say yes and
Yes. And.
no, it's a yes, and you know it'd be a little bit more ideal in the future if they could figure out how to address some of this stuff ahead of a release. I don't know if it's a faster release cadence or something else, but it was rough on me because not that I was directly impacted, but I had to listen to people complain in Discord a lot. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, it's very hard
No
for
one
me.
complains as much as a WoW player.
You're in the wrong Discord because, like, you're thinking that you don't like hearing complaining.
Fear complaining about his 800 add-ons, all saying fatality at the same time. It's tough. It's
Yeah, no
tough.
one's ever complained about that before, Lythian.
All right, Io.
Not me.
It probably is, and I guess I concur with what Lythian said. Hopefully they can find a way to prevent some of these issues in the future, but I'm not sure how.
Yeah, I feel like there have definitely been maybe more detrimental bugs that have come out on a patch day, like one that didn't let people log in for 48 hours or something. Because I feel
Yeah,
like
that would piss
we've
me off.
had some sort of scenarios like that. But collectively, this is, at least in the most recent memory, one of the most hectically bugged patches. I'm like Scrap though. I'm like, look, I get it. You put out a buggy patch. If you fix it within a certain amount of time, so be it. You know, that's fine.
I mean,
Um,
they broke player housing, and that's been pretty stable. So it's
Do
just goes
people
to
still
show
do
you.
that?
yeah, I don't even
I
know
think so.
what ended up breaking it. All right, next question. Do you think they need to slow down the patch cadence as a result?
I don't know if that's what caused the problem, so
Yeah.
I can't give a definitive answer. If that's what caused the problem, then yeah. But it's like we don't know what caused this failing of like systematic failing of quality assurance.
Lithian?
Oh,
Oh, sorry. No, you go on.
no, Lythian, go. You said Lythian.
You're such a gentleman. Such a gentleman. You know, I mean, Scrap's right. We don't know what caused the failure, but I do think if it is if it's a rush to get content out, if it's a rush to make a certain player base happy, maybe they should take a step back and consider maybe taking the additional time to do some test engineering or quality assurance or whatever the nomenclature is for them. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell.
All right, I ask you.
Io?
What was I gonna say now? I almost forgot.
Damn.
Oh yeah, the patch cadence. They should only slow it down if it's gonna make it better, if they think it's going to improve it. I don't want them to feel pressured or rushed to deliver something. I'm fine being patient for them to craft stuff that they think is that they want to put good quality into to release. You know, if they did less patches over more time, and you know, maybe they don't put in as much just like filler, like the void assaults, or I mean, there are people who do enjoy doing that, but I mean, it's not like major content. You know, maybe that's I mean, I'm fine with them doing that, but I don't really know if it's the issue exactly. But if they wanted to because they felt it would make them do it better, I'd rather they do that than them just release it to keep up with the schedule, because I personally would rather they just take the time to make something really good than just to be like, hey, here's a roadmap. We're going to hit all these dates. We promise. Hey, we're doing it. And then being like, well, I can't play the game because it's unplayable. So
That's the point I was
Mm.
going to make about the, like, because you say roadmap, but they didn't like say it had to be what April 21st or whatever day it was.
Yeah.
Right.
They only like, the reason why I feel like it's not a patch cadence thing is because they decided to launch the patch when, I assume they have some internal system where it says like, when we meet these criteria, we're ready to launch, right?
Mhm.
And they give like a T-2 weeks to the developers to make sure everything else is cleaned up. And so they clearly hit that benchmark, whatever it is. Now maybe that benchmark needs to be addressed, but they hit it, and so they were like, "Cool, let's go." And I think it was 8 weeks, but God, it feels like it hasn't been 8 weeks since even the
Yeah,
season has started or whatever. But whatever.
gone by
Um,
very fast.
that's the only thing I'd say to it is just like even players are going like, "Whoa, this is really
I mean, I
fast."
already had 4 weeks of vaults.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we had 3 weeks of non-vaults though, so
yeah,
Yeah.
but I just like that's 4 weeks of vaults and then you get whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, like it's less buffed, but it does seem fast.
The only thing I'd say though is just like all the bugs that I feel like we get that were quote unquote game breaking for players, like the unholy ones. You know, an extra week in the oven wasn't going to change anything. They were going to go unnoticed and only become realized when the patch went live, right?
Yeah, but do you think all of these there were so many,
No,
like
no, I
they were
know. So
so
like let's say like
widespread.
Laura was going to go through no matter what, right? Again, time wouldn't have fixed that problem. Like the decode duel, that was a database issue that was going to go through no matter what. Yes, they might have had people doing more testing to discover that they were blocking people out. However, I think that was only discovered when the mass of people were available to give that one outlier, right? So all the more reason why more people in the PTR would help. The player housing bug went unnoticed on the PTR, so that wasn't going to be fixed within a week. What else? The void core. No, all this stuff. Like, I can't point to a single thing where I feel like if they had another week to quote unquote work on it, would have solved anything, because they probably went unnoticed or, went under the radar. Now,
Right.
the only one that I think that could be argued as to why did it go under radar were the class ones, right? Because
Yeah, they're
whatever
supposed to be
reason,
testing these rigorously, right?
yeah.
To
And
make sure it's
maybe a
balanced and
developer is like, wanting to come out and put a blue post and said like, hey guys, I know you think that's because we didn't test it, but here's the reason why this happened. But even if they tried to explain it, like I'm willing to bet 99% of the player population would not understand.
Well, I think it would set a bad precedent for
Yes,
them to
yes,
explain
yeah.
it when it is occasionally going to be because of a boob who did
Yeah.
a bad job.
Yeah, yeah.
And they can't just say, yeah, this guy just like
When they
fucking
don't
forgot to
talk,
flip the
everyone knows
switch.
it's the boob that got fired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it makes sense for them to give a non-specific, like, we fucked up, as opposed to saying, like, Jerry fucked up, dude. He sucks so bad. Like,
Yeah.
he said he's not going to do it again, for real. Like, we don't need to know that deep internally. We're always
Well,
gonna be
and I mean,
wondering.
I think it's also like, okay, new question. Obviously, every one of these collectively is a problem, but let's say it was just the unholy one that got through.
Oh, then fuck them. They're meta anyway.
No, but what I'm saying is like, why do we have this expectation that the devs have to be flawless, right?
No,
So,
I don't think any of us have that expectation
Well,
completely, right? Like any of us for
Sure.
like,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
a bug going through on patch A that they resolve within the first day or two.
Let's
That's
call it within the first 4 days because I feel like
It's
quote unquote all the bugs were sorted out by the end of Friday.
right. I think what's so unique about this one is like when you were listing out all the bugs, I was like, damn, they really didn't get anything right. Like all the way. That's a little bit shocking. Like that shows either a carelessness or like a significant failing of quality assurance somewhere in the pipeline, right? Which makes me feel like uncomfortable. Like what are they cutting quality assurance? Is
Yeah.
it gonna be continuous problem? Like how could this
We'll talk
possibly
about what the other
happen?
people are accusing of in just 1 second.
Oh, we'll
deep
talk about it
down.
now. I'm too curious.
So everyone
down.
now is wondering. Sorry, I asked you what?
No, I was gonna say deep down, I think it's not people. I think people say things like they want them to be flawless or kind of give that impression, but I think deep down it's like what Scrap was talking about earlier when she talked about how it's Tuesday, it's your raid night, you log on, and all of a sudden your class is doing 15% less damage because of a bunch of bugs. Like it just sucks and it feels bad. And the only way people know how to kind of work that out is just to direct their anger at somebody. And it's
You're paying
inevitable that
for it.
I mean, Prop
Yeah.
Paladin's been unplayable for me for the past 4 weeks.
And it's just that's I don't necessarily think people expect them to be flawless, but I think that when they're angry and they need somewhere to direct that, it's very easy for them to just kind of point it at, well, why wasn't this better? Why aren't they testing this?
They should refund 1 day of game time to Unholy Death Knights.
No.
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 Yeah, they're gonna have to pull up the data and say who's logged in on
Yeah,
Holy.
say who logged Unholy Death Knight on Tuesday.
Okay,
We're gonna
so
strike it from their logs and we're gonna give them 1 day.
the
of
one thing
of
we
game.
haven't talked about with all this is there a fear that the reason why this happened was because of vibe coding / AI?
Oh, AI. Yeah, totally. That's probably what
I
it was.
mean, probably in some capacity. I mean, you see how Windows 11 is. We were talking about all these other things that suck now. I mean, it
Adobe.
probably
Frank,
like
we're just complaining about
Well,
Adobe.
okay. Here's the thing. If you incorporate AI into your pipeline or how you build code and you use it as a way to multiply your productivity, then I think that's okay. I don't think that they're set up to do vibe coding. I don't think that I don't even know if vibe coding is part of their culture at Blizzard, right?
Well, they say it
Because
is.
they would never tell us
Yeah,
if
they
it
say
was.
they even said in, I don't think it was a blue post, but like a official like not a statement, but like a press release, that they're like, hey, we know where AI sits. We've leaned on our developers to tell us how they want to interact with it, but also make sure we put in stops to make sure that it doesn't become a problem. Like they made it a point to say that. So I don't think vibe coding is the answer, but that isn't to say that
I
there
wanna
aren't
see
some
how they
developers that are
said it
maybe
to-
vibe coding on their own,
I want to see that statement so I can check for loopholes. Because they might be like, yeah, like we don't.
They're not
do
legally
it, but, like,
bound by the press release, Scrap. It's not like they're looking to make sure they
I know they're not
purposely.
legally bound.
They could
by
just
it,
flat out
but
lie in it. Like that doesn't.
That's true. They lied about all the promises they made about Hearthsteel. So
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Those were blue posts,
Let's-
though. Those weren't press releases.
Whatever. I know what the
just bring it
difference
on.
is.
Bring it back to Heartsteel.
Look, I
and
when I
Cherry
hold a grievance,
Blossoms.
I hold it for fucking
Yeah,
ever. So
I hope you never hold a grievance against me. Oh wait, you
they're
have.
yeah, that sword that you took from me when I was playing Fury Warrior in Shadowlands.
Back to
Oh
the
my
point.
goodness.
Back to the point.
No, I want to talk about no. I'm just saying they're lucky I don't have a grievance about patch day bugs.
Oh.
You'd hear about it.
But no, I don't think vibe coding was the issue. I hope they're
Maybe
using AI.
maybe Vibe AI quality assurance.
I think just
Well,
sloppy
no,
quality assurance.
I think if even in the QA process, if they use AI appropriately, they can multiply productivity, right? That's what it is. It's a productivity multiplier. If used correctly. If used incorrectly, it's a productivity killer because you just release
To
stuff that
redo stuff.
is
But wouldn't there
not
be
good.
evidence to support that this might have been the killer?
Nah. What do you mean? Like
Like you could see.
if they you say it's a productivity killer, the reason being I'm assuming here is because once you realize that the like the developer wouldn't just send it out into the wild without looking over it themselves, only to realize that
Right.
the AI wrote some really bad code and now they have to go back and do the work for a second time, right?
Well, they have to have so when they do a push, somebody should be reviewing the PR,
Yeah.
understanding the changes, and looking at the diffs and trying to understand.
By the way, use
what the
lingo that
developer was
people so
thinking.
PR being pull request and what was the other?
Right.
I don't know what a pull request is, so it doesn't matter. if
It's
the
when
PR
you're
is a pull
saying I
request.
want to change the code of like I'm making a change.
Just
to
talk.
the-
I'm kind of listening.
Yeah.
Either
in their pipeline when they're going to deploy code, somebody should be reviewing that code. So
like
you
in my
have-
company, we have 2 people review it.
Yeah, you always have, and that's the way it is in most companies, right? Because you want to have that oversight. You want to make sure you're not going to release something that's going to cause issues. But we're talking about who knows how many lines of code
Yeah.
that exists in here,
Millions. They've said
and
millions before.
If they're not built out in a way that you can make a small change without causing impact across the entire code, like everybody's code base is different, and there's all this complexity that sits within the within the code base.
Can we also point out real quick, Lythian, that it's written by many upon many developers who have their own way
Right.
of doing things. And like in my company, for example, Leo, friend of the podcast, looks back at code made 20 years ago and says, "What was that idiot thinking?" Which may be
And he's the
Leo's,
one that wrote it.
like his perception of it, or maybe he's like factually, yeah, that was the stupidest thing you could have possibly done, right?
Well,
So
at
imagine
that
how
point
bad
in
it is in
time-
WoW.
Right. At that point in time, they wrote that code. Maybe that's what made sense logically, right? Now things have progressed, and looking back, it's like I look back at some stuff that I wrote a long time ago, and I'm like, wow, that's just it's terrible, right?
Yeah, like inefficient
but
at best.
either
you
way,
know?
either way, I don't think AI is the killer here. I don't think it's what caused the issue, but I do think that I think that if they find good ways to use AI, I'd be appreciative of that.
Well,
I don't
so
think it's an issue.
a little aside here, did you? I'm sure, Lithian, you've heard about this, like the version of Claude that they had come out, and I say come out, like it's apparently kept under lockdown because of how good it is. That like was able to immediately.
Mythos?
Was that?
Mythos or
Mythos,
whatever
yeah,
it's called. Yeah.
Apparently, like I identified like bugs in OS, like even Linux, and I don't remember the other one that they said, but like stuff that's like 27 years old, a bug that it could be exploited, and so it's so powerful that they are not allowed to release it to the public, and they're not like even releasing it to companies yet, but they're like letting them see what it did to be able to identify these bugs that are so problematic.
It'll identify new exploits that
Yeah.
haven't been patched or there's I mean, if you let that stuff out into the wild, all these vendors are going to have to get
Yeah.
on their patch game, and it's
Well,
going to be
because
rough.
yeah, because if you can use it as a way to find the exploits, you can then exploit, right? So they can't let
Yeah.
that fall into the wrong hands. But imagine something that powerful for WoW, where it just like identifies all these things on day, within a
Identify
minute
the
of running
bugs.
it.
I mean, they could develop something. The issue is their code base is probably old
mess.
and antiquated,
yeah.
and it's just it's challenging.
Claude would look at it and go, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be a mess.
This
Alright.
this a lot. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just listening.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about with this buggy mess?
Nah,
No, I think it talked it out.
not for me at
No,
least.
I think the bugs are mostly over, right? Except for the Holy Paladin thing they just found. Is there any other bugs that are
Tell us in
still?
the comments if there's any other bugs.
Oh god, I'm sure that Fear will come in
Tell
with
us in the
just
comments.
15 of his own.
There's probably add-ons that are
Tell us
still broken
here.
or
Tell us.
something. I don't
Well,
know.
the
Alright.
add-ons. Come on, you can't hold that. That's the bugs of the add-on makers, right? They didn't. I don't know how that works either. But like, just cut the add-ons.
Do
I hate
you
them.
do you think, Scrap, that we can get through a tier list of the dungeons within the next, I'll call it 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
For the remainder of the episode, I just want to talk quickly about M+. First and foremost,
Wait, what about our MDI?
okay, sure.
You want to talk about that?
I had it listed in my things to cover, but like, yeah, we'll cover it
Sorry,
now.
I
Scrap.
didn't know. I didn't know
Whenever
if you
you
were gonna skip
want,
over that.
why not? Our official place
Sorry.
in MDI, after all was said and done, was 60th. So Scrap is demanding that I
60.
make a jersey for us to wear at
60
LizCon. And
We're
our
gonna have
number,
matching jerseys with 60 on them. Just have
60
a-
out of how many? Out of how
Oh, we
many
don't
though?
Yeah, out of
we
how
don't want our own
many?
number.
No, we're all
907.
gonna have the same number.
60 out of 907. That's not bad.
Who the
That's not
hell?
bad.
Who the hell
Yeah.
timed a 12 my Sarah and was like, "That ain't it. This ain't for us."
well, this is, so remember,
Most
this is a
people.
collection of people. So if they change, because like there were a ton of people who got on the PTR who ran a key to just get the banner. So like, let's just
Yeah.
say, for example, tank of
Okay.
Ferk or whatever. He's like, cool, I got this group, and they pugged it, and then he goes and pugs it with another group. They would show as a different team.
Maybe they
Oh,
had.
okay.
Maybe
Now,
they're
this
all
is-
excited for the MDI and a prima donna quit
Oh,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
stepped
Come on.
out. You don't
Yeah.
know.
Now these
we beat-
people
we
right
beat
here
Pat.
had teams, and they got on and said, "Oh yeah, let's play," and they're like, "Oh, we're not doing it anymore." They didn't get their banners anymore, so.
I mean, we almost didn't finish. I mean, we pushed our 16 to the last possible day of the. We hadn't timed to Mysara until like Saturday.
But we also
So-
kept canceling it because we were like, we're on.
Yeah, but I mean, we could have easily gotten sick or something, and then we would have been one of those fucking 900 suckers without a timed.
We wouldn't
one
even
of
be
those.
talking about it on the podcast if that was the case.
No, if we were placed 200, 500 or something, I was going to get it on a jersey. That's what I was saying to Frank. I said, like, let's at least make it, 2 digits so it's cheaper to put on the
But
jersey.
to be fair to us, we played our wheel characters for the most part. One person
Switch.
opted, but yeah, we stuck with our characters and we didn't like shift to Guardian Druid, Warlock, Og.
Yeah.
So
And I think it could be said that I think we definitely could have placed higher with our scrap together team. But we really need to practice playing together. We needed a lot of
Yeah.
time to hammer these keys. And
We're-
we had some good fun prog together. Like I started to really feel like, oh, this is like how people improve their routes and improve their play style and stuff, just like throwing attempt, getting it right. We just simply didn't have the time or the practice going in, which I think
mean-
I hope to do next time.
we have full-time jobs. Some of us
Yeah.
have kids. Some of us have pets that puke all
One of
over
us
the
has
place.
kids.
Yeah.
Lythian has
one
kids.
of
He
us
just
has
lost
kids.
them.
No, my kids live in a different country.
He lost them because they're adults, so they left.
Yeah, they're adults. They're adults. and
I
they-
wanted to
they
leave
made
that
their
as
choices.
ambiguous so people go, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
But no, I think for the amount of time we spent and the the amount of effort we did, like we had to because Shawnee had some things going on, we had to swap somebody in real quick, and I think we pulled it together. And
Where-
60
Yeah.
is not bad.
Where
I'm
do
proud
we
of what
end
we
next?
did.
Next meta or next
30. Easy 30.
30.
30.
Easy.
That's a
30.
big jump. That's a big jump.
That's a
What's
So-
what's the people at 30?
So,
What's the
50
time? How
minute
much time would you have to
56
shave?
Well,
down
we don't even know if
to
it'll be a
35 minutes.
speed
We'd have
run,
to
I think.
shave almost 20 minutes. Oh wait,
Yeah,
no,
no.
no, 15
Off of-
minutes
15 off of both?
collectively.
Okay, we could do it. I think so. I think we
Um,
could do it.
Can we talk real quick? I'm gonna put I'm gonna pull up the interrogation screen, but it's gonna be me being interrogated by Scrap. But I want to interrogate Ioski. Ioski,
Oh,
here, I'm gonna move your thing. Where's your damn?
interrogating
set it up.
Ioski.
Whee!
Oh, hold on. Why is it not unlocking? There we go. Ioski. Oh, you're behind me. There we go. Ioski.
Ooh, let me get you.
Why
Oh,
aren't you running with E-Team during the week?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, well, okay, hold on. Let me give you a backstory.
Okay.
So let's go here to what day was it?
I'm gonna move myself right here so I can listen.
We said I asked
Where do
you
I- where
after
should
the
I
okay,
raid.
go?
After the raid,
hold
we said
on.
we're gonna push.
So 423. So keep in mind 423. The
He's pulled
first
up his
thing,
appointment
the last thing Scrap put in our secret MDI thing that only we can see in the Discord is 419. The stupid Choco Mountain video that she would not shut up about during the push. 4 days later on 423, I asked you,
No.
did you quit E-Team? Are we too much women for you? And I'm
No,
like,
I
what do
think
you
I think
mean?
we were talking
Did you
about it
say
in the
that Scrap is too
podcast
much
chat.
woman?
We talked about it.
No, we definitely talked about it in a different chat. I think it was in the podcast chat,
No,
maybe, because
we
we were
talked about
saying
it
we
in
need you to
voice.
play 7 days a week.
And then
Yeah,
I
point
said,
is
when are you
this.
guys trying to play? No one said we were playing.
We
Yeah.
answered
And
7 days a week.
Yeah, I
We
said
talked
7
about
days a
answered-
week.
7 days a week. Okay, fine, but that doesn't seem super realistic.
Listen, listen.
Is a push or night off? I'm out Saturday, so if not tonight, who knows? Blah blah blah. And then it was
Yeah,
like, oh,
no,
you
no,
gotta heal tonight. I thought not, and then I'm like, I have Karazhan 8. That gets done around 10:30, and then no one said, oh yeah, sure, we'll do it then.
It's assumed.
like
It's
It's
assumed.
assumed. Yeah.
no. In raid, right after raid, we said, hey,
I'm
we're
going
gonna
back out.
push.
He
We're gonna
disappeared.
There
push.
we go.
And I was
Immediately.
gone so
He was
fast.
gone.
I have to wake up at 5 a.m. I was getting ready to go to bed.
E-teamers don't get sleep. They don't.
We don't sleep.
They break
Alright.
keys and they
I just
don't
wanted
get
I just
sleep.
wanted to throw Ioski under the bus. I don't really want to actually integrate
I'm
him.
just
We
saying,
got so much.
Io,
We got to
we
do
got
this. We got to do this tier list.
No, it's
Io,
too
we
late,
got
Frank. You
15
open it up.
timed. We got 14 resilient, or I am 1 key away from
And
14
then
resilient.
you send
We
me a
did it all the way
video
out
of
here.
two of you guys dying to the frontal on the bird on a
Dude,
16 Mycera, which
Ioski,
we did like
Ioski,
over 30
Ioski, can I
freaking
tell
times
Listen.
on the PTR.
Dude,
How are you guys
can I
successful
tell you?
for that boss?
I
okay,
was
How are you
so
successful for that boss?
angry.
Put
How
the
many
clip.
times did we do that? How do you not just have that muscle memory by now?
Put the
knew.
clip in here. Write a note.
No,
Put the clip
no.
in here.
No.
Yes. You're gonna put the clip in
It's
here.
a funny clip.
If you
but-
don't put the clip in here, if it's
I
not in
thought-
here, commenters say, Frank, why didn't you?
You
put the
won't
clip
know.
in?
You don't look.
The commenters will know it. I'll read the comments and then I'll cut back to you about
God, she's
quality
using
was
the
funny
funny
assurance.
against me.
Frank.
She knows my one weakness.
I'm just
Light of
saying,
scrap
some
in the comments.
frontal. Lythian got killed from the back. I got killed from the side. That's fucking horseshit. That's a bug.
They need to make that better.
It's very
but-
simple. It's very simple. There's a hitbox. You guys were in the hitbox. You got eaten alive by the hitbox because,
No,
well, one,
I'm
because
not-
Panalo's
I'm not saying
pulling the bosses into the tightest corners of the world. And two,
No.
because Scrap thinks, oh, I'll just like back off a little bit instead of like
I've
getting the
never-
fuck out of the way.
Look, everybody's had a moment on that boss where they've been hit by it and they were like, whoa, I have to be way far away with that. I haven't had that yet. I had it in a 16,
the best
unfortunately.
the best
but-
ones are when Scrap she says, I got it, and then teleports.
I
and
understand
nobody
now.
knows-
I understand now why you guys are bitching about it. Like, I didn't realize the gravity of the situation there, that they created a fucking understandably large hitbox that
Yeah,
kills you in one hit.
huge.
It's
It's
so
like
fucking stupid. I'm gonna complain about
By
that.
the way,
Some
why can't
quality
you?
clip
Oh,
assurance.
because you got hit by the axe. I was gonna say, why can't you just
Every-
float
hold on.
down?
Everybody be quiet for a second. Clip will be inserted here.
What motherfucker?
Oh, fuck.
How did that hit me? What? It hit me in Panalo somehow.
Yeah, no, I was behind.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. That's right. And welcome back from
Wow.
watching the clip. Tell us in the comments if you think that was bullshit or not.
All right. So, can we move on though? Can we get to the
Yes,
tier
we
list?
can.
Okay.
What were we talking
Real
about?
quick, I just wanted to show the popularity. So we were last week at this is midnight. 3.4, we'll call it million. Comparatively to week 4, that was at 2.9 million. So we are still going strong in M+. That's great to see.
Actually, I'm envisioning that there is an uptick this week, maybe, or like not as steep as a
It's-
drop off, because I know a lot of people were hammering, trying to get into the dungeons to use their rerolls on specific things.
So in week, this is season 3 of The War Within. It was almost a
Mhm.
flat week. Now, granted, a lot of people will run keys like crazy at the end of the week. But
Yeah.
this is looking like a pretty substantial downtick.
I think
Yeah.
it'll probably end up flat, don't you think?
We'll look. We'll see. But I'm
I'll
just
tell
saying.
you, it's such a. I tried to pug a key on my rogue.
The pugs. Ugh.
And
I want to do a
it's-
tier list of pugs of all the bad.
I
classes
haven't
for
pugged
plugs, but
enough.
we'll-
Because every time I pug,
Well-
I say I'm not doing that again
it
like
took-
for a
it
couple
took
days.
us- It took me 30 minutes to get into a key, right? And my rogue is 269. I'm just trying to get a 10 done. And I get into this key and we get started. And as soon as the key starts, the hunter, during the countdown window, the hunter turns around and walks out
Oh.
and he never came back. And that killed the key. And I'm like,
Never
why?
mind.
Why? Why did you do this? It's so hard as a DPS to get into keys. I don't know how
Yeah.
y'all do it, man.
Dude, even
It's
as a Devourer Demon Hunter who's 278 and like 3200, like I can't get into like the last 14 I need. I have to apply like 10, 20 keys before I get into one. And then when I get into one, it's bricked. So I don't know how people are doing it who are not you
I
know,
don't know.
meta or
I
having
mean,
issues. It's
you
crazy. What
run
do
your
they
own
want?
key.
55?
You run your own key, but if you need a certain key, it makes it really hard. So
I just
anyway,
ran my own key with the Discord. We bricked it down 2 levels in 10 minutes, so you never know.
okay, all right. You didn't have to.
Lythian,
You
who
didn't
did
have to bring
the
that up.
most damage on those mana batteries in our run?
I looked at it. I did the most damage overall in the key.
Scrap's
So
personal calculation that she
no, I
created out
looked
of
at the
thin air.
calculation.
SDV, not TDV. It's SDV. Scraps.
Yeah, it's just
dungeon
Scraps
value.
dungeon value is
Scraps-
always the highest on Scraps dungeon value.
Scrap's total dungeon value is
Yeah.
always
STD,
higher.
STD, STDV.
All right.
Oh,
all
dude,
right,
that's
all
too
right.
Funny.
Here we go. So
Start the
currently
tier
on,
list. How much time we
currently
have
on
now?
screen, we got
we're gonna
20
push
minutes.
that.
Currently on screen, you'll
Fuck.
see the current. This is this week or last week. Sorry, last week's completions. You'll see that Algathar and Mycera Caverns are the least timed at 86 and 87% respectively.
Oh,
But all other
Algathar, 'cause the
Nexus is close,
timer-
but all other dungeons are 90% and above.
Yeah.
And then if we look at it by group by mythic level, there we go. You can see that almost everyone's tunnel visioning inside the 10 and 12s. Again, this was
Yeah, I
before the core came out. We'll see how it looks next week. But what I wanted to end today on was our tier list of the dungeons. You have 20 minutes, so don't fuck around and find out. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit on this.
We're doing per dungeon. Yeah, zoom in because I can't fucking read that small. I'm old as shit.
Okay. So
wow.
I will open up the door to Ioski to start with choosing a dungeon he wants to talk about and then ranking it for us.
All right, let's get one I don't think there's gonna have to be a ton to talk about with, and let's just go with Skyreach. I'm gonna say I'm feeling like A minus B plus. I think it's quick. It's nice to run through real quick. I just don't think there's anything about it that really stands out to me that really makes it super memorable. It's probably like one of the better Warlords dungeons they've done. It's kind of like a Shadowland Burial Grounds almost, where it's just kind of like a quick dungeon you run to, and it's very there's not super challenging, and other than that, I think it's just not that remarkable. So, but I don't think it's bad either. So I think like A minus B plus kind of range.
No. Skyreach is A plus. You know why Skyreach is A plus? Because I get to watch Frank die on the first boss. All the
Yeah, I get
time.
to watch you walk backwards off the platform, Lythian.
I died like twice on that boss. What the fuck?
That first boss is crazy. Like it's like
always
the
fun.
one that you fuck up.
Watching
and you're like,
watching
"Shit."
Haywire get bounced off the platform
Yeah.
or what. Anyway, no,
When you get comfortable on it, you can use some bigger poles too, so that's also fun.
Let me go on.
It's a tough one.
Let me solidify its placement. I think
Yeah.
all the dungeons this season, I love them. It's a great season. So all the dungeons are going to range from S to B, right? So I think Sky is true neutral. I think it's a solid midpoint A.
So
like as
A.
far as dungeons go. Yeah. I mean, the thing that's holding it back is that there's no way to creatively pull it. It's completely a push W dungeon. We're in debate
Well,
about what
you
W
can
dungeon
do huge pulls in the
Yeah,
beginning.
but it's
if
an
you really want.
undeniable
You get to
push
choose
W
whether you take the
dungeon.
left door or the right door with one less mob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the same mobs on both
No, it's
sides.
not.
Like it's just
No,
well,
it's not.
there's a different breakdown of them, right? But it's the same guy, same
No.
kind of caster, same kind of guy
No.
drops an orb.
There's
Yeah,
an
it's
adept on the
different.
right
It's
side, which arguably, if you try to do a big pull, will make the tank have a lot.
What
harder to
it's the illusion of choice with that. It's so basically the same to me. But like I think aesthetically it's sick. I like the bosses are great. The trash has a lot of it's high stakes. I love a parkour section in a dungeon, and I love that I don't get to have to participate in it. It's a perfect combination of those two things. I'm gonna give it a true neutral.
I have
it's
a
pretty
clip.
easy.
I have a
A lot
clip
of
of you
classes
falling
can
off.
skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
Anyway.
S tier. I think the bosses are all great.
Why?
Every boss
I
is
think it's
great.
great.
And yeah, it's a little boring, but it doesn't matter. It's fast. Like it's
You
great.
don't appreciate like choose your own adventure in a dungeon?
Um
No,
From my
I don't.
experience, especially recently, I've realized that anyone that thinks that they do or do not have the illusion or the choice of how they route the dungeon usually have no idea what they're fucking talking about. Case in point,
Oh.
Phoenix trying to tell me Pit of Saren was not open to choice of how to run it.
Yeah, I
And
was arguing with Absolute about it. He said all dungeons are push W. You'll end up like with the enough
Well,
percent by the end. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
people
how many
like
times do we do it where we're at the wrong percent at the end? All
here's
the
the thing.
time.
When we get to talking about Mysara Caverns, right? I
Yeah.
think there's like a million different ways to route that.
Let's
Like I
talk
just
about
watched
Mysara
Bleb.
next.
I just watched
Well-
Bleb do his route. Go ahead.
well, I just wanted
I was-
to put a bow on Skyreach. I just wanted to say that I think that I was really not looking for, on the beta was hard as shit.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
did
it was.
they did
It was
nerf it.
overturned.
But they maybe they nerfed the bosses a little too much, but at the end of the day, it's still a dangerous dungeon if you're not paying attention, especially with the tank.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
And
bosses feel very fair to me.
and I think it's an excellent WAD revival. So yeah. All right.
No,
I was-
agree.
I was gonna suggest, do we want to save some time and bang out 2 easy S's, Mysara and Magister's Terrace?
Yes, I 100%
Okay.
agree. Mysara is my favorite.
Well,
Magister's my second
Mysara.
favorite.
Why is Magister's your favorite?
All right, hold on. Let's
Second favorite.
Mysara. Is everyone S'ing it?
Triple S tier, it's the best dungeon.
I would
in
say
my opinion.
I would say
well,
S. Well, let's go for our reasons. Let's let Scrap go first because she said triple
Yeah.
S.
I love the choose your own adventure style. I think it's an epic fucking dungeon aesthetically. Like the way you like descend into this underground and it's just like there's this huge cavern with these big temples and stuff. I love troll shit. I think all the bosses are great. Last boss is super epic. Yeah, I just love the distance you go. It feels like a real fucking adventure. The trash is great. It's really deadly. I enjoyed every bit of us running it over and over and over again. I think it almost feels like a teeny little raid to me. And like aesthetic and vibes is fucking everything with dungeon replayability for me, and good bosses. And it's just a fucking sick dungeon. I love it.
I do like the
only- Go ahead.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, the open-ended routing. There's multiple buffs you can get in the beginning, so that might change what you do. The bosses are all fun, like Scrap said. I like all of them. There's also I think there's another little buff thing you can get in the middle of the dungeon. There's this spirit guy you can
Yeah.
summon with incense, so that's cool
Nobody,
too. It's
nobody
just
does it.
it's kind of if you're not doing a kind of cheese, it's kind of tough to take
Yeah.
advantage of in a meaningful way. But there's a lot of fun little pulls you could do. There's trash you can pull to the boss. There's a lot of different places you can grab from. So yeah, I just think it's for what Mythic Plus Dungeon should be. I think it's just great in a lot of categories. It's got unique dungeon features. It's got really fun and engaging trash. Each kind of section feels a little bit different. Like you're not fighting the same thing. You are fighting
Yeah.
the same things, but each area is a little bit different, which feels nice. So I think it's pretty good.
So
All right, go Lythian.
my only complaint about Mysaras is, and I'm not trying to make Haywire happy with the complaint, but there is a lot of ground stuff, and
Oh yeah, there
it's-
isn't a lot of
it's-
these dungeons though.
I know, but this one, it's rough. Especially when you're pulling, right after the first boss, you're going to that room to do a big pull with the heroism, and you got those big guys that are dropping big green circles on the ground, and then the mini
Yeah.
boss dropping the purple circle that pulls you in, and and then the number of range kicks, because I can't do range kicks this season, has made me really upset and sad. So.
Generalized complaint for the whole season: the circles on the ground are excessive, but I don't know if it's just unique to the season or because I'm playing a caster who has fucking 10-second casts.
I don't feel like it is that much different.
I'm totally willing to accept that. I just am really annoyed by this thing I have to acknowledge.
I
all
think
of a
it's both you
sudden.
and both you and Haywire are realizing
We're out of
it.
our fish out of
Yeah,
water, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in
I don't know what
different
he's
ways,
complaining
though.
about it in Melee. It's like in
Yeah, in
Melee, just
Melee?
walk to the side and keep doing your rotation. You're not punished for
Right.
moving. Like, I
I'm
don't know
so
why he's
used to being in
complaining.
Melee, like,
Yeah.
it's just natural for me, but for him, it's like a
Even
whole
on
new
Enhanced, a
thing.
lot of your abilities have range to them, like Lightning Bolt and fucking Tempest and
It's
or
it's
I
it's
don't know.
because
Chain
he's
Lightning
upset
has
that
range
he
to
has
it.
to have the cognitive load to think about it more than he's used to. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
I
he's
mean,
a BM hunter main where you get to move and be at range. Like it's
or
like
rest
Well,
you're
you only
the
have 3
only
buttons.
person who
You only have 3
yeah.
buttons to press too.
Well, you're the only person who doesn't have to engage with the negatives of the range
Right, this
class,
isn't
right?
Doggone Haywire time, but yeah.
Why
All
not?
right,
He never
rename
gets
the
to see the
episode.
podcast
All right.
anyway.
Okay, so my Sarah, Lythian, are
Good for
you
you.
challenging the S?
No, I'm fine with the
Okay,
S.
I am
We
too.
had a lot of fun.
It's just not his
We always have fun
favorite.
doing it.
It's
All
not
right.
your favorite? Which one's your favorite?
Not that one.
Magisters
off it.
Magisters is not either.
Wait, Frank, what's your take on it? You
I'm
like
I'm okay with
Sarah.
an S. I'm okay with an S.
Not your
Yeah.
favorite though?
I'm upset that they nerfed the second boss to make it effectively just like mostly a target dummy.
It can be
And
stressful though. I don't know.
not really. Not if you're just doing a little bit of work, you know. Like you
I think
could.
you need a breather. That trash leading up to that boss is the boss, I think. Like
I don't even no. Actually, the reason why I hate that dungeon, I hate it. The
Oof.
reason why I would argue against that dungeon is the one mob that puts the shield up and has the tornadoes. Just has. It's just not even that. Like it's. I hate shield mobs. Like they're just. It's not a fun mechanic. But 2, it's got so much health, and so it just like lingers. You literally like make 2 pulls with it.
The tornadoes not going in circles, fuck off.
No,
Like,
I think that's actually good though, because then it's not like so simple as like
Yeah.
brain dead and forget about
But
it.
then I can look at like if it's a circle, then I can plan around it where I'm gonna stand. I'm like, okay, it came out from here, so whatever. I swear to God, I have no idea what formation they move in. I think it's fucking homing or something. That's very
Well,
agonizing.
and it's a good mechanic that goes along with the bridge because you don't usually pull it on that one on the bridge and you like keep it off to the side, but because you do that, you run the risk of the tornadoes throwing you off.
I've only seen people get knocked off at one time, and that was when you
I think
guys
it was
both got knocked
Io.
off it. It
Io
was
got
Io
knocked
and
off.
Frank, wasn't it?
And
Haywire
Musham did
and I.
too, yeah.
Oh, it was 2 people. It was Io and Mushim got knocked off by the same
All right,
tornado. I've
anyways.
never seen that happen.
Let's move on because we're time. So
Move
Magisters
on.
was the other one that you wanted to put up there, Iaski.
Yeah. That one's S
Yep.
to you?
Yeah, same
Yeah,
exact thing
it's
applies
right after
to my
my
Sarah.
Sarah.
There's a couple different like dungeon unique mechanics with the book and the little worm buffs that you can use. I think the trash is really good, and it's got 2 different sections of trash. You have the more blood elf magisters trash, then you have the void trash in the second half of it. I think all the bosses are really fun, and it's also got a few different there's not as much rerouting you can do as you can in Say My Sarah, but I've seen quite a few different people have a couple different interpretations.
There's
of how to
forks.
run
It's
like
like
pick
it's
and
like you
choose
come back
mobs.
into the press W, but there's like, do I take this one on the left or do I get more of the worms that Lythian likes to pull?
Yeah. So I like it for all those reasons, and I think the bosses are fun.
I'm gonna second everything you said, but I'm gonna point again to the aesthetique of it. Like I love that same as my Sarah, it gets more epic and like higher stakes. Like you're punching librarians, and then it's like, dude, the void is like taking this shit. Like it feels cool. It's like kind of like you see the progression of things getting more corrupted, like as you go. I think the last 2 bosses are absolute fucking bangers. Like maybe the 2 of the better bosses in the season. But the second one I fucking hate, man. It's
like
just it's so awful for me, a caster with million-second casts. And the first one's kind of dull.
So
I don't, it's okay. It's a good first boss. It's
but the
fine.
first boss, like I feel like if it's not cheesed, it becomes a really big problem.
Yeah.
I feel like it becomes too big of a problem if it's not cheese. Like it's almost like you have to cheese it in order for it to be
Which
fair.
leads me to my first like reason why I'm going to challenge it. I do like this, and I think I could live with it being an S, but this is a really unfriendly pug dungeon.
Yeah, there's a lot of casts that like must be
First boss,
things. There's a lot of spots.
Yeah, first boss. If you like, okay, so even before the first boss, the trash where you'll run from that very big pull that you usually hero like the second pull, and then like the tank will run off and try to do the pyroblast that opens the doorway and pull all those books, but they don't get aggro on them, so they start firing on everyone and it's going crazy.
And that's a hard healer pull right there.
Yeah,
Of the
well,
AoE.
and it's just because everyone's line of sight. And then
Yeah.
you have like some other big pulls that people pull other mobs into. And then if you don't do the first boss with the door mechanic to get only a few orbs, that could be a huge problem. We wiped on it the other day without it because Lythian didn't get to the door. And then on top of that, you have the runic glaives that are going out in the trash of the second boss. That if
Brutal
the tank
trash.
does something stupid, or if people are not paying attention using the defensives, yada yada yada, or the healer doesn't
Or
know
if
to
Scrap
dispel
kills them.
holy fire
I
immediately.
will say that trash to that hallway, I don't think it communicates to you well that how dangerous it is.
Well,
Like
it's-
normally you'd have like a big fucking guy to show you like, hey, this is serious. But that trash is just like that last pack is just 3 guys. It's like one of the most dangerous
no,
packs of the whole
that's not
fucking
not the
dungeon.
hard one. It's the one that's before it that's the harder one, in my opinion.
Well, but if you roll that guy into the
Yeah,
last pack where
yeah.
you're like, oh, this is just 5 guys, what the fuck
That's
ever.
death.
It's like that
That'll
will
kill
kill
everybody.
you.
Yeah.
So I do think that's a little bit of a design flaw, is that you're not communicated very well that this guy is like a fucking guy, man.
But that's not even the worst of it, right? Because then you have the next set of
Yeah.
trash where you have 2 generals that are present throughout the rest of the trashes. The one that will
Yeah.
do a huge AoE and heal himself, and the other
Yeah,
one that
those are
does
brutal.
devouring strikes on the tank that will, like, again, if the tank's not paying
And then you
attention,
have
the
that
healer's not
kick
paying
that
attention.
must be kicked or it's a wipe, and a
The whole
lot of
bunch of
times you're
void.
pulling 2 or 3 of them. And how do you coordinate 3 kicks in a pug? I
Then
mean,
you get to the
fucking
third boss,
impossible.
and you have people putting schmutz
Yeah.
everywhere, right? They're not like
Well,
doing
and not
mechanics.
dispelling the shield.
Yeah, right. Well, that isn't happening so much nowadays, but like they're just like cluttering the shit out of
I saw it
everything
recently.
unnecessarily. Then you have the fourth boss, who again, people playing volleyball still don't get what the mechanic is. We talked early in the
I
other
don't know if
episodes about
still
this.
don't like.
Scrap.
Have you seen it
Scrap.
recently?
Yes, and in fact, in a group that wasn't a pug, it was with us, and we had
Oh, come on. Then.
we had people like Stu
It was-
and
yeah.
It wasn't me.
so
It wasn't
bad.
me.
Rigo didn't
You-
hit
no.
it once either.
You were supposed to be coaching Stoop, and you
I wasn't
failed.
there on
All
that
right,
day. I
anyways,
didn't do the magic.
I think it
trick.
is a great dungeon with friends,
It's-
and I would leave it an
yeah.
S for friends, but I do want to put an asterisk on the fact that
Yeah.
that for pugs it's probably
It's not
miserable.
it's not
I
a
think
good
Lythian.
hard to pug is a mark of good, like a good mark for a dungeon. Like it requires a higher level of coordination and
think-
interaction. Like it's not just like a AFK and push W. Like I
But-
like that more.
I don't think that's good.
I think
because
it's
the
Listen.
majority. Huh?
What would you rate? What you said you wouldn't put this as an S. What would you rate it?
I'd leave it at A, but because I don't think it's that good. I think there's a lot of issues with that dungeon, but
It's fucking cool though. You
it-
thought about that?
no, well,
Okay.
Hold on. Let's everyone take 10 seconds. Think about that, okay? It's
Yeah.
fucking cool. Lythian, just think about
Yeah.
that.
Are we not measuring? Are
Scrap,
we not
quiet.
measuring
He needs to
it
think
on?
about it. Quiet. Give him 10 seconds. Think about
Can
it.
I let me
Think
help
about
him think about it? Are we not measuring also by the like everything? Like if I'm weighing
No.
the whole weight of the dungeon, I'm not just saying, oh, it's like the
here's
mechanics
the
are
thing.
good. It's like the aesthetics. The aesthetics are important.
This season, I think the aesthetics of most of the dungeons are really good. I think outside of Algathar's, which I'm kind of tired of, I think they're all pretty awesome, right? Aesthetically, is everybody gonna start yawning now? It's
I'm tired.
Guys, it's almost 1 o'clock, whatever. I don't know.
I know.
It's
I know, it's getting
12:20. You're free. You're losing over nothing.
We're
almost
the podcast
one.
that all has full-time jobs and going into our
some
night's
of us-
sleep with. By the
I
way,
have to
still
go
got
into
2
the
hours of
office
editing to
tomorrow.
come after this.
Yeah. You don't forget to edit in that clip.
We have 5 more dungeons.
Anyway,
Lythian.
I think
5 more
it's A.
dungeons.
It's A. Let's go. We can move on.
Hey, all right. Well, I don't think it's enough to tear it out.
You
Okay.
can leave it there. It's fine.
All right. Seat of the triumvirate. Who wants to go on this one?
I'll go. I give it a B.
B.
B plus.
Have
It's
you
one of my.
considered? Have you
it's one of
considered how
my-
cool it looks?
No, it's one of my less favorite ones. I think the last boss is cool. I think the
I like
trash
Seed.
feels a little bit unfair as you start to get higher. It's I don't know.
If you pull it, like if you pull the wrong packs together, like
Too
I
much
found this
tank
out the hard way.
busting.
Well, there's a lot on the tank to pull the right packs together, and if you do the wrong ones, it's killer, right?
Yeah.
And it's rough. And as we progress higher in keys, I'm learning the hard way that there are
Yeah.
certain things I just can't pull together anymore.
To be fair, maybe we haven't come across the right route because we were doing it on like a 14 and we have a
Sorry,
friend,
Lythian.
a podcast viewer,
know.
Tech,
That's
who is doing much higher keys, and he was saying, why are you pulling this in this level? You're a psychopath. Like this isn't what's done in the 17s.
Yeah,
This
no,
is what's done. And Lythian was like, wait, can I see your route? Like, because
You didn't have a route.
well, the
He
route
just-
that Well, no, but he's got a
No, the
route in
only
his
route,
head.
the only route
For the
he
sake
didn't
of
have a route.
time, please.
Mhm. For the sake of time,
Huh?
I'm just saying for the route that we run, I feel like the
Strength
trash
doesn't
feels
matter.
unfair. It's too tank busty. There's too many kicks that are really annoying, and I don't think like all the bosses. I think the first 3 bosses aren't particularly engaging or unique or
What?
whatever.
The third boss
The
is
last boss is pretty
pretty.
unique and cool. So it's a B. It's not a bad dungeon. I like it, but it's a B.
I like it. I think it's an A, but
I ask you?
it's fine.
That's tough because I do like it, but I feel like I want to not put it in A, but I feel like it's probably an A. It's pretty good.
I
Well,
like
those
it.
Got the
varies for
same.
sure.
It's
I like
very
it.
you got a lot of open, more open routing, which I like. I
like
think the
that.
third boss is the only one I'm not particularly a big fan of, and I don't think I feel particularly excited to run this whenever someone has it, but I don't know if that's just because I just don't care for the aesthetic as much as some of the other ones, or what it
I
is. But yeah,
I want you to know I have a 16 in my bag of that dungeon, and we're
Yeah,
gonna run
well,
it.
until you
We're gonna
have a
push.
new route, I'm not running it with
oh, we're
you.
gonna
No,
run
I
it.
have a new route. I have a new route.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, so A,
Mhm.
I'm fine with.
Cool. Windrunner.
Next. Windrunner,
It,
it's a B with
I'll
me.
say it's my least favorite of the 4 new dungeons.
I'll say
But I'd probably give it a A minus.
yeah, I'd give it an A. My big knock on it is it's mostly push W, but I think it's pretty fun and
I
not
hate the
You can go
long
right
not
or
walk.
it's
left.
not offensive. It's not offensive.
It's not offensive. I like the last 2 bosses a lot. I think those are both great. Definitely high contenders for cool bosses.
That you die
But
on.
yeah, because it's hard. I love hate the third boss. I think there's a little too much going on in that one, like just a little bit too much. But
Well, it
I
feels
I
like they
just
fixed it, the third boss, because it was. I feel like at the start of the season, he would be doing the ad phase like way more, and
I
now
don't
they have it
know.
done only at twice, like at
It just
66
feels
and 33% or
a
something.
little bit stressful. I don't know. I don't like. There's just too much. It's too much for my brain. Going on at the same time. I like the trash, but you know what I don't like is the having to walk really far between poles and you can't mount in that dungeon, and I just get annoyed by that. It's a weird layout. It's like push W but like sprawling.
I
Um
do
yeah.
I do like that the last boss is immensely easier in my Blood Death Knight because I could just
Dust
AMS the
Advance.
arrow
Oh.
bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because everyone takes my arrow all the time and it makes me angry.
People
Yeah.
still don't know like the mechanic.
Well, that's a different problem, but
I mean, I think on the lower keys, like you probably don't. The healer can just heal you through
Sure,
it. On the
but
off times,
yeah.
it's more of like
Oh,
a
I've-
high key problem.
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
But anyway,
Anyone challenging the A then?
No.
nah.
Howski?
No, I gave it an A, so I'm cool
Okay.
with it.
I'm all right
What
with
about
an
you,
A
Frank?
I'm A minus sitting on it. All right, Pit of Sauron.
I put it A, but below all of them.
So
Yeah,
A minus.
Yeah, it feels a bit dated. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like
Feels
this one's
like-
actually more like a B plus for me, and I hate
Yeah, B
saying that
plus
because
is fine.
I actually really like the trash, and I think
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
especially
Bosses
it's
are
very
weak
fun,
sauce.
very open ended, and yeah, I think that's where you pretty much lose is the bosses, and I feel like they're kind of a big part of it. So
Bosses feel dated.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think the trash is phenomenal in this dungeon, but it is.
A B is still a good rating. Like this is not a dungeon I'm not excited to see. I really like
Yeah.
it, but the bosses are very. They definitely feel dated.
The timer is nice on it. So
Timer is great on it. We love a timer like that. Like, but I'm not judging on ease. I'm
No,
judging
and
on
like the thing is, I like
vibes.
the third boss. I think it's a fine boss. It's nothing crazy. The Garfrost is a good fight that can be easily mismanaged, and so I think that's fine. I don't
Mhm.
know why it can Crick just like really, really drag it down for me.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a very
Yeah.
annoying fight.
No, it's not even that. It's just like, no,
Scrap misses her kick
It
and
doesn't
people
feel well
die.
designed. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah,
It feels clunky.
Well, it may not been a well designed. They didn't redesign it. You know, they just kind of like changed the
yeah.
the flavor of it.
It's just like compare any of those bosses to like the last Windrunner boss, which is it just feels so clean and cool, and it gives everybody something to do. There's a healer thing. It's like there's something cool, all the phases and stuff, and then you think of that one, and it's just like I was like, wow, this is just like kind of clunky and unfun to deal with these mechanics. And amidst they throw all these circles on the ground randomly, like too, while it's going on.
The circles.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Nexus point.
S. That's the lowest S, but S for
Oh,
me.
I don't agree with that at all.
You don't like Nexus Point?
Not
Nah,
so
I give that
fast,
one
my
like
friend.
I give that one like a B plus. I think the
For real?
I think it
Oh,
goes.
Nexus Point's terrible.
I think the
What?
trash relies too much on just being overtly like, oh, we're just gonna do random AoE
Bro.
damage for no reason. I think the batteries are egregiously poor. I'm fine with the ones that drop from the guys, but the fact that like those guys will get low and the tank will just
Circuit
run to the
seers.
next pack, and then everyone will be
Yeah.
like, oh hey, let's go to the next pack,
No,
and then
the other,
inevitably
do you know
dies.
that the circuit seers will randomly hit some off
I
to the
didn't know
side
that
and
mechanic.
blow them up?
I didn't know
If
that.
the
No,
circuit
I
series
didn't.
are too close to the ones on the ground, they activate them. That's what causes that. And I didn't know
didn't know
that
that.
until
No,
Frank was
okay.
yelling at me about it.
So that's another thing. I think the first boss in this is actually a very awesome boss, and I think
You
it's
should
a
have
really
seen how
cool
Lythian
design.
fucking did it.
And I think the second and the third
Well,
one are just
okay.
kind of are just like the second one's fine, but it's also kind of clunky, and the third one I think is cool. In
When you say
theory,
the
Third
but
second
one's
one,
cool.
some people might route differently. So you're talking about
Okay,
you
that's
like the
true.
one
So
with
the
the lines.
the core right,
They
yeah,
both
that
have
guy.
lines.
The one with the damage amp. I mean, it's fun because you want a damage amp, but it's not even like. I do like that. I guess you have to heal through it because that it does kind of make it more fun. But I hate that it's just kind of like, oh, just kill ads. Then if you don't kill the ads, you're just like kind of fucked. And
Well,
then
and again, and we've talked about this. I ask you that tanks don't
Oh.
know the frontal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the dread guy is not dead, I stay out of the line. Like, because I got to point that away from everybody.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everybody dies.
And the third boss would be fun, but the problem is it's just so clunky, and sometimes the Lithraxian spawns in other Lithraxians, and like, what are you supposed to do? You know, it's not
I do not like
It's
this
tough to
dungeon at
find.
all. This is the worst dungeon
At
for
all?
me.
So you would
Yeah, it's
say
like
it's
F.
oh wow, okay. So
No, you
Lythian's
can't
down
put
here.
it lower than that.
Okay,
lower than
scraps
B.
up here.
I like
Yeah,
it. I know.
you're
It's
saying
below
here?
I'm
the
like B
other
plus.
two.
Yeah, I'm at like B plus. I don't think it's terrible. I
What
just
about
think
Pit,
that
for the love of
I
God?
just think that
You know why
it's
it's terrible? It's terrible because as a tank, you have to pull everything. Like there isn't a lot of optionality. You just pull everything.
Well, you can go left or right to start.
No, no,
and
he's
you
saying
can
for the
pull the
count. He's
beginning
saying for the
That's not my
count.
point.
He's saying for the
Okay.
count.
For the
For the
count,
count,
yeah.
you got to pull everything.
Well, I feel
I
like we've
don't-
been over a bunch on
No,
that
no,
one. You don't,
no.
like,
Usually
pull
going under.
everything.
No, Lythian, I think it's fine. The trash in the first two sections, while it can be very chaotic, can also be very fun if you do it right. But the trash at the end just fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
annoying actually. Because you got the
Especially those-
fixates, you got that frontal that doesn't
You got
show up on
the
half
bat
the
that
zone that you're
heals.
doing it
the
on.
bolts with the debuffs. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
bunch of nasty. Yeah.
No
It's a bit
range kicks in our group at all.
That could use a little love, I think.
Lythian, stop
Oh, dude.
making it only something we would understand.
Frank, the bugs for the thumbnail, they're in that dungeon, I forgot.
That's what you're referring to?
Yeah, there's the bugs.
my
It's the same
God.
thing.
They're too bright. They don't work for the thumbnail.
No,
All right.
but that's the ones I was thinking of.
Okay. Algithar.
C plus. They took the new version
plus?
of it in the modern WoW. They took out everything that was fun about it. I'm sick of her.
I'm sick of
Bring
her.
put her out back.
That's a B, but I'd probably put it. You know what? I might put it below Pit actually.
When you had stuns
let's
that
see.
interrupted, I mean, it was a lot more fun because you could actually do some pretty good pulls in this. And obviously, before the tanks became less durable, you could also do that big pull in the beginning, which I know some people can still do. But you know, people
can still
kind of
do it.
do like a third, and then they pull
Well, you
the
have
rest of
to
it
if you want
after.
to time it.
Right? Yeah.
Well,
So
the timer's tight.
I feel like
It's
the
tight.
only difficulty in this dungeon is the timer. Like everything else just feels like a slog that's not.
Well,
particularly
You haven't
cool.
tanked it, that's why.
So
fine,
the
sure.
difficulty is the timer. The difficulty is the second section of trash after the bird boss. There's
Yeah,
those surges, which will pretty much one shot people on like
too much
maybe
kicks demanded.
maybe not
yeah.
like tens or stuff. And they're not like the most like obvious kicks either. It's just kind of like
There's
hidden in,
spam
and
kicks
then
also.
and then you get those ones where it's like the books in those, and yeah, so it's I don't know. I think this was a better dungeon under the old philosophy. I think
I
under
agree.
the new one, it kind of loses a bit of its luster.
We
Yeah,
did
I
it.
agree. I liked it better in Dragonflight.
We made it through.
I still give it a B though.
No, I'm gonna give it a C, and I'm gonna stick it there
Right.
because this is the one that
I agree with
surprises me
C.
the most. I feel like they made changes to all, well, not the tree boss, but they made changes to all the other bosses, and they were good changes, even if they're very subtle. And they wanted to try to make the trash a little more manageable. And yes, they are more deadly to tanks, from what I can tell. But it still feels like, even though they tried to make all the quote unquote right changes, it still feels all wrong. And I can't really explain other, maybe it's the tight timer, I don't know. Something
I
just
think
seems off.
I think even comparing like the bird boss, the dragon boss, the tree boss, Veximus they gutted, they fucked him up. But those 3 bosses, I think are good bosses when looking at the rest of the dungeon pool. Like I think they have fun mechanics that feel fair, that need to be managed, that are difficult, you know. I maybe we're just fatigued by this dungeon. I think the trash feels more like the tuning is a bit off on it or something. Like in the first pull, it just like completely destroying the tank if you don't like kill it like in an insane amount of time, or the tank is able to kite or drop it.
Well, that's the thing. You have to do a big pull because of the timer. So if the timer was more
Yeah.
lenient, you could break it and maybe it'd be fine.
Yeah.
You gotta,
Well, either that or that needs to be eased off of just a bit, like that.
Or the axe is now
punishment.
doing a shit ton of spell damage without any indication to the tank what's happening.
You know,
And so the
I think
tanks are
that
getting
the
clobbered.
timer requires pulls that are too dangerous to feel fair. With the trash, and it's like a damage modifier. It's not like, oh, this is like, you know, if you manage it really good you can make it through. It's like you can't possibly, I mean, maybe you could possibly get if you have an AUG you could get all the stuns and not have a single surge go off. But I don't think that's reasonably manageable for a group like us, or for definitely not for a pug. And you have to do those pulls because the timer is so tight, and those pulls are so dangerous when a single wipe will kill the key full stop no matter what. It just feels a little bit unfair. But if I'm thinking about the bosses, I still think the bosses, except Veximus, are good and work well.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just my opinion.
Okay.
Veximus, they fucked up. That was like the scariest boss before, and now it's just like, it's like literally like just like ugh.
All right, last chance to make any changes.
Nah, I'll live with it. It's not my tier list, but I think it's fine.
Okay. Lythian, what do you care about this week?
I think that we need to find a way to make Frank sleep more so he's less cranky. That's
I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking we need to find time to push into the late hours of the night so we can actually get some push time with
you're
some
doing that
E-team.
right now, Scrap. You're doing it
Can
right
I tell
now.
you, it breaks my heart when I'm like, oh, okay, so it's like 1 in the morning or something. That's completely still like way past my bedtime. And I'm like, no, we gotta call it there. And then I'll see you guys are running keys still without me, and I'm just like,
Don't look. Just
like,
don't look.
oh,
Yeah. No, you need to
Oh,
close
man.
Discord and just go to bed.
No, it's like the next day I see it, because like
Oh,
Lythian will post a
okay.
picture of
Friday
like,
night.
Yeah.
Friday night we ran some additional keys that went really well actually. So it was
I don't remember.
it was
well, you had tech with you, that's why.
yeah, we had tech.
I don't
Whoever
think
that
we did
tech
run
person
any
was.
more keys
Anyways,
after that.
that's
I
what you
don't
care about,
remember.
Lythian? You
Dude,
care about me not
I'm
sleeping?
blacked out. Like, I don't remember
No,
keys.
I care about your crankiness.
Look, I'm like really excited because we're pushing these keys and we're doing a ton of damage. We're kitted the fuck to the nines. We just don't have the time to push all together, and that's what I'm like. We need to find more time. We need to do it until 2. Like, you know, you need to get less
No,
sleep.
hold
Take a
on.
nap.
Work in the
Hold
morning.
on.
Yeah.
Hold on. That's not fair, because you're the only one that wants to push until 2.
Yeah.
You're the only one
well,
that can.
I get up later for my job, so
Yeah.
that's true. But
Alright.
I do want to find a time, just one day of the week, where we sit down and we say
Yeah.
we're gonna push for 3 hours.
Yeah, no,
like
but that's what we do. We do push for 3
Can
hours
it be
almost
like
daily.
can it be like early
No.
Saturday or something? Like
No, I can't. I work Saturday.
Oh,
So no.
so
All
you
right,
work.
we'll do this
so-
offline. We don't got time for that.
Okay.
Anything else, Lythian?
No, that's it. That's
Okay.
it.
Let's go through our community comments. I got a couple for them here.
Okay.
So, actually, coming off of Lythian's Karen Corner, Rakrazek says, I only listen to ATMT for Lythian's Karen Corner segment. It is all the wholesome content that the WoW community deserves. Lythian, I owe you still a graphic, and we're gonna do the more you know graphic for you.
Yeah, more you know.
So that'll be
Raka,
coming
a
when
weekly commenter for
I
us.
don't get yelled at by Scrap for not staying up till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Lithian, this is gonna be a thing. People are gonna come up to you at BlizzCon and tell you what they care about, just to see if you say I don't care.
I care about everything.
Yeah, okay, if you say so. All right, Ioski, this one's for you. What did Ioski think of
Oh.
WrestleMania?
I answered, I'll read my comment. I said, hi there. So I didn't watch it. I don't
What?
have time to keep up with recent wrestling, unfortunately. Occasionally, I'll catch a show here or there. I'm planning on checking out Reigns Punk as I heard nothing but incredible praise for it.
So apparently, Brock Lesnar surprised Triple H by retiring early because he didn't want. They had like a storyline allegedly where Lesnar was going to lose his last match before retirement in his hometown, and Lesnar's like, "Fuck that," and just retired without anyone knowing. I don't know if you know anything about that.
Yeah, no, I mean that's kind of the vibe, but there's also some people thinking it might be a part of a storyline. It's tough to tell because they do a lot of especially nowadays they do a lot of blurring the lines with what's real and what's not. So it's tough to say, but I that's a very Brock Lesnar thing to do. If you know who about him personality wise, he's the kind of guy who would like in the meeting would say, "Oh yeah, that sounds good," and then after this is just like, "Yeah, I'm Brock Lesnar. I already have a ton of money. I'm going back to my farm and fuck you, I'm done." So it'd be
I've
very.
watched a lot of wrestling, so
I just totally.
I
Not.
can't get into it.
Dude,
my friends
I
had
bet
a
you-
podcast where they wanted me to help produce it, and like I was like, okay, fine. And I started watching it with them, and I was just sitting there going, like, I just can't.
I don't even
bet
watch
you-
like real sports. You know,
I
like
bet
why
you
would I watch
Scrap would
fake
get
ones?
really into wrestling if she went to
Scrap.
like,
I can
It's always been
so-
alluded that like wrestling is the men's version of soap operas, right?
I get it. I can appreciate it. Like my husband is like he doesn't watch a lot of wrestling, but he grew up with it, and so he's a big Macho Man Randy Savage fan, and he showed me clips and stuff, and I can really appreciate what it
bit.
is, but I wouldn't
snap into a
watch
Slim
it
Jim.
because I don't need the men's version of soap dramas. I am not a man. I watch regular soap dramas like but yeah, no, I can appreciate it, but I doesn't
What's the
interest
next
me.
one?
All right, next one's from. Oh, sorry, who was that from? That was from T Potion. T Potion. All right. Next
Thanks,
one is
T-Potion.
from Grunslayer 5525. All right, this is all in caps. No, Frank, you can't just read random comments. Frank, no, you have to open a Patreon, Frank. Think of the money. You can't just do that.
Yeah, what money, girl?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say actually Patreon has been brought up to me multiple times before, and I don't open one for two reasons. One, we always said that this podcast is not about us making money necessarily. We want to pay for it to upkeep, sure, but you know, we get like $4 an episode or something. And then two, I'm worried that I'll be mortified that like no one signs up.
Yeah.
So-
Patreon means more work for you.
Yeah, that's too. Yeah, more
I-
work.
Because you have to add more content.
Appreciate the thought that we could do something like that, but I also think that we should get ourselves to a point where we would need something like that to actually do what we want to do. And right now, I don't think we're quite at the level where we would be able to justify taking money from people to produce the content. So.
There are milestones we need to achieve, and the first one is to getting Blizzard noticing us in the first place. So
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
cups first, and then we'll do a Patreon.
So sub
Yeah.
and
Mugs,
pump up the
whatever.
algorithm
Mugs,
and all
yeah.
that stuff. Actually, Leo said that he was going to build me a whole bunch of stuff for our store, but he never did. And by the way, the only people that would buy it is me to give away to y'all. So, all right, that's why. I don't know if you were joking or not, but whatever. All right, Kublai 2000. We need to have Haywire on the pod.
Yeah, we want Haywire on the pod, but he refuses to get on camera.
Well, not only that, but he also refuses to want to engage in the idea of what the podcast is
He
about,
was
which is
on an
about arguing.
episode. If
He
we
did
have
our
true
trivias.
fans
He
here,
He did our trivias.
he did a trivia episode, but he wasn't on camera, and he won't. Yeah, he does, and he's also like a reluctant participator to most things, even things he wants to do. So getting him to do the podcast is like pulling fucking teeth. But he is a character. You know, people probably hear us talk about Haywire and Musham. They are the same person, and also Technique's brother.
So people who
so
know
sorry.
Technique know.
Yeah.
know that Haywire has a little bit of technique in him.
A little bit of technique in him.
They're
Yep.
completely different though.
But he's got a
But
little
anyway.
bit in there.
All right, continue to comment. Please give us something funny or insightful to talk about. Maybe you guys will give us something about this week's class changes that we missed, and continue to support the algorithm and pushing our stuff up. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but we did pass the 2,400 subscriber count last week, so that was awesome.
Sick.
But we need to do more if we ever want to get Blizzard to consider us a channel, what do they call them, partner or whatever.
2,500 Keystone Hero, like almost a Keystone Hero.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we're aiming for. 3K IO, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, that's Keystone Legend. We should get a Keystone Hero first.
Okay. Any last things other than WoW that we wanted to talk about? Devil Wear Prada comes out this week.
Oh,
Devil Wears Prada. I don't know if you guys were ever into Audio Slave back in the day, but I kind of wrote them off because they were just kind of like I just kind of saw them as like, wait, what's up?
Isn't Audio Slave? Wasn't that the lead singer of Audio
So
Slave?
hold on. Let me tell my story.
Ruining it.
So I kind of wrote them off as
1998 or whatever year it was.
It's kind of like a radio band, and I never really put that much thought into them. And then like a couple weeks ago, I had a playlist playing, and there was a song on there, and it was like, oh, that's actually really good. Who is this? And I was like, Audio Slave. And then all of a sudden, like 5 seconds later, it clicked. I'm like, wait a minute, this is literally Chris Cornell and the rest of Rage Against the Machine. There was no way this was never going to be amazing. Why did I write this off 20 years ago or whatever? So if you like me wrote this off 20 years ago, go listen to Audio Slave.
Chris Cornell wrote one of the best Bond songs too. For Casino
Oh, did he?
Royale.
I did not know that.
Oh,
so
dude.
That's cool.
Listen to that song. That is a fucking banger.
Scrap. So
I've been playing a Pokemon randomized red Nuzlocke. I'm not gonna go on about it now, but if anybody in the comments wants to listen to me be autistic about it, I'll type you a comment about how it's going. Yep.
I swear.
Cool.
Yeah, it's no. Frank's like, please don't say anything about it because he's already heard
honestly,
me
if you
about
want to
it
talk
before.
about it in the middle of a key and like we're just doing a 10, like I'd be fine to just listen. I probably
Yeah,
wouldn't.
right. It almost
It's like the
made
same thing that I
Musham
always tell
quit.
Shawnee. It's like one of those things where I'm just like, I don't really want to add to the conversation, but if you want to talk around me, I'm okay about it. You know.
Look, if you guys, so anybody in the comments has an interest in, Nuzlocking of the randomized variety and wants to hear about how my 10 attempts have gone, leave me a comment. If you don't leave a comment, I'm not going to be offended. I recognize most people aren't interested in my special interests. So
yeah, Pokemon's not that popular, so.
Well, Pokemon randomized Nuzlocks
I was kidding.
are kind of niche.
You've explained it to me before, but I don't know what.
I have many times before because I'm a big
God, I've had to
Nuzlocker.
hear it so many times. It's
I'll tell you about it later.
No,
like
I don't
Pokemon Hardcore WoW.
Lythian,
Yeah, it's hardcore WoW Pokemon.
Huh? I got nothing.
How are your dates going, dude?
They're terrible.
He hates women.
I don't. No, I love women.
He's
I just
gay
don't
now.
recommend. I don't recommend dating in your 40s.
I don't
if
recommend
you can help
talking to
it.
them.
No, I enjoy. I go out on dates and I enjoy getting to know somebody and hearing all the stuff they have to say, as long as they have stuff to say. And a lot of the problem is I feel like people forgot how to have a conversation. And so it turns into just me asking a million questions, and I hate my life.
I could not imagine
you
having
feel
a date
stuck.
in my
No,
40s.
I would hate that.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Don't do it.
I think I'd just like be happy with being alone, and it's just like that's.
I think I honestly, if my husband something horrible happened to him, I would just be alone forever.
Well, in fairness,
like I'm totally fine
I've got
with
my
that.
hands full with the kids anyways, that I would like not have any energy to want to even worry about it.
Yeah, I would. I already have a
easier said than
plan.
done.
One of my good friends, who I've been friends with forever, she's like, and she's like done with men forever. Like she's just like, I'm living this whole life, had a lot of bad relationships, and I was like, if Darren dies or something, I'm gonna move in with you, and we're gonna be platonic roommates that everybody thinks are gay, like secretly. Like we're just gonna have a ton of cats.
You guys
and
gonna
do
wear
craft.
matching shirts?
Yeah, 100%. Like we already do that kind of shit, but I was like, that's my backup plan, and then I'm never gonna date anybody ever again. But
Maybe
yeah,
just dox your husband, by the way.
I've said his name before. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. All right,
That's my plan B.
that's episode 82. Yeah, wow.
I don't know.
That means we
Yeah.
have 19 weeks until BlizzCon.
Oh wow. All right.
Yeah, we should find a
We
place to stay.
need to work on the jerseys. I want my
All right.
jersey.
This week I'm adding to my to-do list
Okay,
jerseys
cool. 'Cause
and
I'm sure
Lythian segment opener.
I want to know if there's like I think it would be cool to customize it out with some graphics or something, but I don't even know like what we can customize, you know.
Shout out to the who's the person that did the crocheting Ioski?
Oh,
We shout out them last week.
the knitted wow.
Yeah, the Knitted Wow, because
yeah.
I guess she got some commissions off of the pod.
Oh. Yeah, sent me she sent me a confirmation that she was shipping mine, and then was like, "Oh, is this your podcast, by the way?" I was surprised when some people said that they found out from me on there. So, hey,
to,
thanks
cool.
for checking her out. That's
yeah,
pretty
so
cool.
to any of you who did that, you guys are rock stars. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, at least someone's making money off the pod.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. Well, we don't have any reason to not be back next week, so you can expect episode 83. But until
Just jinxed
then,
it.
no. Until then, I hope everyone has a wonderful time in their keys. Hopefully the raid works. Hopefully we finally get AOTC, and we'll see you then. Take care.
See you, Gator Owl, later.